The Joe Rogan Experience.
Train by day, Joe Rogan podcast by night, all day.
Brian, I want you to apologize to all the nice people out there in the world.
I'm sorry. I logged into the wrong Ustream account, and I guess the sound was too hot also, so...
The sound was too hot? Dude.
Yeah. But I had to restart the computer, and every time I restart the computer, it always goes back to all the defaults for some reason. So, like, the sound is really hot, and my login is saved in this Ustream thing, so automatically I just hit, you know.
No,
it screws everything up, so every time I restart, I have to make sure everything is... But smoking weed before it kind
totally
of fucks
understand.
everything up.
We have to, you know what we do? We need a little yellow checklist thing for you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you can't
Make
always.
sure what channel you're on.
I think the weed gets too much blame. You know what I mean? The weed gets a bad.
No,
rap.
it does.
It does. You
No, I
can't
mean,
always
like
blame
when
it
I'm
on the weed.
when I'm doing stuff, like you get stoned and everyone's like, "All right, let's start now." You're like, "Oh, okay," you know.
And I'm just fucking with you, dude. I'm just trying to back up weed. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It gets a bad rap.
Speaking of weed, we got Tommy Chong who's going to come on the podcast on Monday.
That's fucking awesome.
Yeah, that should be very fun. He apparently is using that that Rick Simpson thing. Have you heard that? Cannabis oil. There's some oil that you can make with cannabis.
Yep.
It's supposed to be super healthy for people who have
A good friend
cancer.
of mine came to LA. He's from the East Coast. He's got brain tumors in his head, and he's supposed to die in 6 months. This was about a year ago, and he's hardcore 10th Planet. He's one of my top soldiers for sure. He, man, it's weird because in the position that we're in, we get a lot of people with, you know, there's a lot of people out there that have cancer that are fans as well. You know what I mean? And we're dealing with, you know, this is not an uncommon thing to have a student or someone come to me and have cancer. This happens all the time. People are like dying, and it's crazy. The spot that we're in, and we're like, fuck.
Well, there's a gigantic amount of people in this country. You know,
Yeah,
You're gonna run into some people that are sick, and it's very humbling.
Well, this guy, he started that cannabis oil therapy, and his last checkup, the tumors stopped. Not only did they stop growing, that they shrank like 40%. And his doctors are like amazed at what's going on. And he's on this cannabis oil therapy. It's becoming really popular now. There's reports.
I don't even think it makes you high, right?
No.
It doesn't, right?
No, it doesn't make you high at all.
So
No.
it's not even an issue of whether or not it's people are taking this and getting high on it. The only way pot gets you high is if you heat it up, I guess. That's what's been explained to me. Like, you can't just eat it, but when you eat it, if you just eat like the leaves, it's really healthy. They say like marijuana, like the flowers and the leaves are incredibly healthy for you. Like, really, like, it's a great thing to juice. Like, people should juice actual
That's
marijuana.
becoming more popular now too.
Yeah.
So I have a friend who's I don't know, his tumors are shrinking, which is crazy, and doctors are baffled, but he's been on that cannabis therapy, and it's working, and it's becoming more and more popular, and all these studies are coming up.
Well, real legit scientific studies that have shown that marijuana shrinks tumors.
It seems like every week or every other week there's this new study that comes out that proves that somehow marijuana can cure some kind of cancer here or some kind of cancer there. And it's becoming so popular that I don't even retweet all of them. Like, there's just too many damn studies.
It's true. You look like an asshole.
I'm like, shit, there's just too many fucking studies. So I'm only retweeting the juiciest stories. It's crazy.
Yeah.
There's all this evidence, all this proof that marijuana is this wonder plant. It's not just an ordinary plant. It's not just a plant.
It's like an alien.
A magical plant.
Yeah.
There's all this proof, and people still deny.
Yeah,
it's still a Schedule 1 drug. How crazy is that? Coke and heroin are Schedule 2.
Yeah, because they have medicinal use.
Yeah.
Supposedly, yeah. That's
crazy.
the idea. Yeah, it's completely ridiculous.
How about that video of that one congressman
Yes.
grilling that chick?
Yeah, from the DEA.
That chick is
Oh
brilliant.
my God.
She deflected everything beautifully. Oh my God, you know,
all illegal drugs are dangerous.
That dopey eye woman.
All illegal drugs are bad.
Yeah, she was brilliant. You know the DA's watching like in a dark room, laughing their asses off, going, "That was brilliant." You know, she got like a fucking $500,000 bonus and shit.
For that, really? I thought
That
she
was
looked
brilliant.
terrible.
She looked brilliant.
Well,
Nothing's gonna happen from it. Oh, they
You
just
can't.
needed someone to go out there and jibber jabber and just get past it and whatever.
And then they don't give a fuck.
And they
It's
got
not like
they
it
got an
makes any
old lady.
sense.
They got an old lady. How? So it's easy for a guy if you don't think too deeply about it. You're like, here's how could I be against an old lady who's trying to keep us off drugs? You know what I mean? An old lady trying to keep us off drugs. So a lot of people without thinking.
How old was she?
She
was
looked
in
like
her 30s
six.
or 40s?
No, she was like 60.
Was she really?
Yeah, she was old. They got an old lady up there.
See, all I got out of that was that she was joyless. I didn't get her age. I got just this joyless woman.
perfect.
Out there working.
Brilliant. She's the best. Old lady come out and just say whatever. They're like laughing in the back room.
Because they're not really accountable. Nothing really is going to
Do
change.
you think that? Yeah. Do you think like they don't know all the truth and shit? They know it. They're trying to suppress it. So how do you suppress it? Fuck. Where they want to grill someone in the DEA. You go, I'm not going. You go. No, I'm not going. And then they fucking make the secretary go out there and promise her $1 million. Just say drugs are bad. Just say drugs are bad.
Yeah.
And it worked because it's on
hilarious.
video and it's not going to change shit.
And it was like, she tried to, different addictive properties. All drugs are bad. Drugs are illegal.
Is marijuana more addictive than heroin?
I don't. They're both illegal and both.
But what is
addictive.
more addictive, marijuana or heroin? Which, in your opinion, is more addictive?
But both have addictive properties. Both are illegal.
You can only choose A or B.
Yes, exactly.
It was.
But
It's like
yes.
Jeopardy on Saturday Night
Because you
Live.
are an expert on this. You should know this.
Yeah.
Is marijuana more dangerous than pills, than prescription pills? All drugs are illegal and all drugs. She was brilliant. It was perfect.
It's so weird. It so represents like if it was a movie, and this was like the frustrating point of the movie where people were starting to get all the information and starting to realize that this structure that they've got set up, it's just, you don't have to live this way. We just live this way because it's been set up for us before we had any information on how things are really going on behind the scenes. And then you see something like this. I mean, this is the thing that would make people rise up. If that was really the drug enforcement agency, that was really their attitude. That's really their take on it. That's really a spokesperson for this.
Yeah.
Like, what are you doing?
Yeah, watch that video. It's Congressman Grills DA agent or something
It's
like that.
hilarious. They're talking about like fucking prescription pills. They're talking about abuse of prescription pills. But you know what they're not talking about? Stopping those prescription pills from being made. Someone's always going to get them. Someone's always going to have a backache. Someone's always going to have, like, you can't stop prescription pills and make prescription pills. You can't do both.
Yeah.
So you're never going to stop them. That's horseshit. So when they say that they're looking to cut down on illegal prescription drugs, like, whatever.
Yeah.
What kind of a fucking smokescreen is that? How much money is that even? How much money is it compared to the legal ones? The people who are legally selling the exact same shit.
Yeah.
But because a doctor says it's cool to take OxyContin every day for the rest of your fucking life, you're down. And there, next thing you know, whoa, you're a junkie. That's legal, though.
Yeah.
That's legal. But marijuana, you can't grow. You can't eat this incredible plant. Even if you were completely uninterested in getting high, if you just said the nutrition of this plant is unquestionable. If you look at the amino acid profile, if you look at all the nutrients in it, look at the fiber in it, it's an incredible superfood. It's better than kale. It's like, but it's so expensive you could never eat it because it's illegal. But if it was legal, it'd be cheaper than fucking kale. That would be a real problem. I know a bunch of people that lived in Northern California that prosper off of the illegality of it, that were arguing they were going to vote against it if it came on the ballot. They're like, we make more money if it's illegal. They were ready to go gangster. They would rather go gangster and then make a little bit of extra money than have it. Like, that's like contrary to the whole idea behind weed in the first place.
Money takes precedence.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's amazing how strong the pull is in some circumstances over like what would be good for humanity. Man, fucking, I got an ATV I got to pay for. Can you imagine that? Some asshole's growing weed and he's like organizing people to try to stop the initiatives to make it legal. Fuck, keep it illegal, dude. Keep it illegal. Just you and me, bro. Work together. I'll get you the weed. You give me the cash. Selfish bitches. Can you imagine? So how self-hating would you have to be a pothead who grows weed and you vote against it being legal? Fucking piece of shit. You fucking dummy.
Yeah.
That's some silly bitches.
Don't see Spider-Man.
I won't see Spider-Man. We talked about this earlier before we were brought to the wrong channel.
Tobey Maguire is a way better Spider-Man. It's funny.
Yeah.
The new one's not. It seems cold.
You can't keep rebooting shit, man.
No,
Sorry.
I think they should reboot it one more time and then just
Really?
forget that last one and just make
bring
it.
Toby back and
make it-
not explain anything.
Yeah, well, the coolest part was it's like they use slow motion a lot, kind of like Matrix stuff. They used it a couple times, and it was really beautiful. So I think they should slow down the movie, make it slow, but Tobey Maguire doing jokes.
Dude, I thought Tobey Maguire was awesome at Batman. I thought it was perfect.
Or Spider-Man?
Spider-Man, rather. Did I say Batman?
Yeah, except for
Peter,
the third
Peter
one.
Parker. I mean, he like was a perfect Peter Parker.
Yeah, perfect.
Perfect.
It's exactly what I imagined when I was reading the comic book, where this guy seems like, I'm Twilight Spider-Man, and I got emotions, I get bruised and scratched.
Oh no!
You know,
really?
yeah. And
Oh,
then-
you bitch!
And then there was some really cool scenes where they tried to do like if you were the person, like, you know, like
Are you spoiling right now?
No,
Want to
no,
have a
no,
spoiler?
not at all. I'm not giving away any plot. This is like more effects and stuff.
Okay.
But there's problems like first person shooter style, like where they just failed at it. Like it's like, you know how like in a video game where you'll see the arms come and you can.
Right. Was it 3D?
It was 3D IMAX, and it was just like these little hands, like here in the corner or something. I'm like, no, it's not. You're not doing it right. Like it.
So you wanted like a full arm?
If they
shooting
slowed it
web.
down, like if you were in first person mode while he's swinging, you know, made it look super cool. I think that would be way better than I don't know. It just
Spider-Man, by the way, is way more badass than an actual spider. If a spider
Right.
was the size of Spider-Man, he wouldn't be able to fucking shoot webs that far and
well,
cling
they
to things and pull himself
they
around.
explained the technology this time behind it. I don't know if I like that. And also they redid the whole Uncle Ben thing. So the whole time you're like, you don't care because you know what's going to happen to him. You saw how it was going to happen in the previous thing. It's like before it used to be in a comic book. You know,
Right.
it wasn't translated in person in a movie.
And then you're gonna see it again.
I
in
had
the
to see
movie.
it kind of again, and they changed it a little.
Yeah, that is kind of whack, right? Like once
Yeah.
you do that in a movie, like you got
Mary Jane wasn't around. It kind of freaked me out that she wasn't
No Mary
around.
Jane at all.
No Mary Jane. It bugged the hell out of me.
these sons of bitches.
And I don't know, man. It was fun, but it kind of bummed me out. It just didn't feel like Spider-Man at all. There was no humor in the whole thing. And Spider-Man as a comic book was humorous.
Eddie
Peter Parker
Bravo.
was.
Eddie Bravo hates like superhero
Superhero movies.
movies.
I hate the only superhero I like is Flash.
You ever see
And
Kick-Ass?
Flash.
There was never a big Flash movie, was there? I'll go see that. That's it. Other than that,
Did you see
I don't want to
Kick-Ass?
see any. I like that.
Yeah,
I
that's
like
kind of cool.
Kick-Ass. Yeah.
You just don't like stupid shit like Captain America flying around with his little shield and
I'm
stuff.
not into it.
Kick-Ass.
You know, I know most people like that shit, obviously, because they fucking come out with 3 of them every year,
Right.
at least. I know most people like that shit. I'm in that small minority that I wish I fucking liked it.
Yeah.
I wish every time a fucking new Batman came out, I got
So
excited.
you
I
saw
wish
the
I
new
want
Batman
that
preview,
excitement.
and that doesn't
That
interest
doesn't do
you?
fucking anything for
Wow,
me.
that's crazy. That
No.
new Batman looks fucking like
That
I
doesn't do
shit myself
shit.
crazy.
I was not a DC guy when I was growing
Yeah,
up.
was
I was
I?
a Marvel guy.
Me too.
And there's something about that. I feel like I'm still prejudiced against Batman or something because I don't really care about it as much as like the Avengers.
Yeah.
Like the
Same
Avengers,
way.
I was fucking pumped, man.
Same way.
And that movie delivered. Did you like the Avengers?
I didn't see it.
How dare you, Eddie Bravo? How
Everybody
dare
liked
you?
it.
Dude, just for the Hulk alone, it's awesome.
The Hulk is
It's
amazing.
the greatest Hulk of all time. They nailed it. It's like they used to do the Hulk, and it was like, first he did Lou Ferrigno. He did a great job for a person. I mean, if you're gonna get a person to play the Hulk, that's the perfect guy, right? Giant fucking dude. But he was never anything like the Hulk in the comic books. The Hulk in the comic books was not a man. It was just fucking freak. This crazy big freak thing that is so fun to watch when he gets mad. When the Hulk gets mad, you think about, goddamn, could you imagine if you could do what that guy could do? He can fight anything. The Hulk is unafraid of anything. He smashes everything in front of him.
He smashes.
He
all the
smashes
time.
gods. He grabbed a god and smashed him. Just smashed him all over the ground. The fucking rubble's breaking up.
You have to like
have to-
smashing, Eddie.
When you watch it, it's so
I'll give it a
fun.
chance. I'll give Avengers
Just
a
the
chance.
Hulk alone is so fun.
Okay, I'll give it a chance.
He fucking goes after a jet. Like a jet is shooting missiles at him, and he gets fucking mad and goes after the jet. I mean, to be the Hulk would have to be like if you had like if there was like one thing you could do, if you could like if they could give you like some sort of a neural implant, you know, what is that movie? Total Recall type experience, you know, where they like simulate a reality for you, and you get a chance to try it. Like, what would you like to do? I would like to be the Hulk. Can it be the Hulk in an artificial reality for just 1 hour? You know how fucking badass that would be? You could fly, you can jump and fly through the air. Bullets bounce right off you like nothing. You could smash.
I would want to be
But you'd be in a
Spider-Woman.
pissed off mood all the time.
Yeah, but you would only be fighting bad guys miraculously. The Hulk never hurt any good guys.
The correct answer is Spider-Woman, though.
So,
Because
yeah,
does she have the same powers as Spider-Man? But she's a woman. She's got boobs and a vagina. So for 1 hour, you get to be Spider-Woman. Plus, you can play with your boobs and vagina for an hour. That's the best win.
That's ridiculous. You
fuck
want to be
off.
a woman.
You'd rather smash than do that?
Fuck yeah. Fuck yeah. Because a lot of spiders, when you fuck the female kills the male. That shit happens all the time.
So you kill some dude,
insect
finger
world.
yourself, and swing around New York.
Some bees, apparently, when they orgasm, die, too. Did you know that?
Really?
Yeah. Some
bullshit.
fucking bees, certain bees, like when they orgasm, their dick explodes and they die. The nature has a way of making sure there's just not an overflow, making sure that, you know, we've got to even out this population thing. And the female spider does not trust that male motherfucker. So after he impregnates her, she's like, yeah, I'm done with you. And she just jacks him, which is really kind of fucked up. But probably a good idea. I mean, if she loves her babies and she's going to have babies, is she going to trust all 1,000 of her babies with this cunty male spider around? He might just eat the babies if he's fucking hungry. You know, she's like, I can't take that chance. I just got to jack him. So she jacks him.
I guess I was wrong about Spider-Man. I guess the Amazing Spider-Man was a different storyline than, I guess, one of the other Spider-Mans.
Oh, so the comic
Was it the
book
Amazing
itself-
Spider-Man the only main one? Like the rest were like Peter Parker and the Amazing Spider-Man? Or?
Oh, I don't know. I mean, you're
Shit,
getting.
I can't
you're
even
getting
remember
way-
now.
You're nerding me the fuck out.
There was
You
a
went
Web of Spider-Man.
way
I
too
believe.
far. I don't even know.
So now I'm really confused. So sorry, nerds.
You fucked up.
I fucked up.
Yeah, well, you
I
can't-
remember Mary
it's
Jane,
not
though,
your
being...
fault though. They can't be changing plots like that.
Amazing Spider-Man was Mary Jane, I
Make
thought.
up a new superhero, bitch. All right, you don't have
Shit.
to keep changing. Don't change Spider-Man, right?
Fuck.
Eddie Bravo doesn't give a shit.
Yeah.
Eddie would get mad. We would go to movies like, well, I know this guy's gonna live. It's
You-
like he always would get upset. You could never just enjoy it. You
know,
It was
I
like,
know.
this is so stupid.
Iron
This
Man's
guy-
badass, man.
There's something about movies that I could figure out. If I could figure it out, I hate it. If it has me on my toes and it's totally unpredictable and has a really good storyline, obviously, then that's what I'm into. I like not knowing. Like, that's what gets me excited. Knowing what's going to happen. You know, all that money, all that CGI it takes for for Batman to be. He's like in 7 fights per movie, 7 big episodes where he almost dies. Right? He's fighting all that work. That's so expensive and so grand and it looks so beautiful. And for me, I'm the minority. That doesn't mean anything for me.
Wow.
It doesn't do shit.
You didn't grow up watching cartoons much, did you? Or like any of that stuff? Like you
I
didn't
wasn't into
have
comic books. I watched
Transformers?
cartoons. I watched the superheroes, I guess, the Super Friends when I was like 8, you know, but
Did you like Star Wars growing up?
I did like Star Wars growing up.
Did you enjoy Avatar?
I liked Avatar.
Okay, but that was a super predictable movie, man. That was a complete comic book movie. Avatar was the ultimate, like predetermined ending movie.
No,
ever.
a superhero movie is the most. That's like, you know, Spider-Man's going to live. You know he's going to
Oh, no. The Avatar dude was gonna live. He lived through the whole thing. He became a fucking one of the member of the noble people himself.
No,
He
it
became an
wasn't.
artificial
Avatar
version of
wasn't
it.
as predictable as Spider-Man. Come on. No way.
Ah, dude.
Spider-Man's the most predictable movie
I wouldn't
ever.
say- I wouldn't-
Or Batman or Superman, all that shit's the same thing.
But this movie's predictable too, because the guy. I mean, well, not even predictable, because I don't think that I shouldn't even say predictable. What I should say is it follows like a pretty obvious pattern. It follows a pattern where the person that you're focusing on in the beginning is probably going to be alive at the end, like 99.999% of the time.
Yes, but it's
Something's
not as
gonna happen.
clear as a superhero movie that's called Spider-Man. You know, Avatar wasn't a person. If Avatar was like a chick, you knew that, or a dude or something like Avatar the Fighter, and he's gonna fight.
Oh, I
them.
see what you're saying. So it's because it's a science fiction movie. You don't consider it a comic.
I
book
didn't
movie.
say
It's not as
I didn't say I
ridiculous.
worshipped
No, it's
Avatar.
true.
I'm not trying to watch
No,
it
no,
again.
no,
I
no,
thought it was good.
I know what you're saying. It is. It's less ridiculous than a Batman.
Exactly.
It completely is.
There's different levels.
But when I say it's a comic book movie, I say that with a compliment because I love that movie. I thought
No,
that
most
movie
people
was
do.
awesome.
No, most people love that shit. You know, I just can't feel it. You know?
But you felt Avatar, and I'm saying that Avatar is very much like in a lot of ways. It's like a comic book.
It's not like a superhero movie. That's what I meant. I meant like a superhero comic hero, like dude.
Right.
Like, my name is Avatar. I'm going to save this alien planet.
I
would watch that shit.
Did you enjoy like Clint Eastwood movies, like those half humor movies, like Every Which Way But Loose? Like,
No, really.
Yes.
those
Best
are fun,
movies
man.
ever.
When we tooled around.
Maybe I mean
I
I
was
was like
addicted to
8.
that in
I don't
Cannibal
know.
Runs.
I don't know.
Do you remember he had that orangutan?
I was 8. I barely remember. I did see BJ and the Bear and shit.
Oh,
like that. Come on.
BJ and the Bear.
I mean, I was into that shit.
Isn't it weird now that we know so much about chimpanzees? Like that kid, that student in Africa just got his fucking testicle ripped off, his fingers bitten off. They dragged him for like 2 kilometers or something like that. I mean, it's really scary shit. They beat the fuck out of this kid. Now that you know so much about chimps, it's really hard to watch like BJ and the Bear. And this dude's like tooling around with a chimp. It's not even really a chimp. It's a baby. It's a little baby chimp. It's like a little 3-year-old or something like that. Like, 'cause that's about as old as you can get before you got to circle out that BJ and bring in a new BJ or bring in a new bear or whatever the fuck his name is. You can't have that. He can't grow up, because if he grows up, he's gonna fucking drive. You know? Imagine sitting in a cab of a truck with a giant male chimpanzee, and he's like, "How about I just fucking drive right now?" Just grabs that wheel from you. What are you gonna do? He's gonna bite your fucking nose off, Brian.
Some dude who worked at a zoo brought home a baby chimp because the chimp's mother died, and at that same time, she had the person that worked at the zoo had this dog that just had puppies, had 4 puppies, like this big mastiff, and she brought that fucking chimp home, and that mastiff took in that chimp as a child of its own. Wow! I got all these pictures of it. It's incredible. They're like all hanging out. Wow! It's like a little baby chimp.
Holy shit.
You know what I'll do? I'll tweet it to you. You'd be able to see it there?
Yeah, I can tweet it.
Would you rather be She-Hulk?
What's that?
Like She-Hulk or Hulk for an hour?
She-Hulk or Hulk for an hour?
Is there a She-Hulk?
Yeah, it does.
Hulk
It's
for
just
sure.
as strong.
Why the fuck
Maybe
would I want
not
to be a
as strong.
chick, dude? Why do you keep trying to turn yourself into a chick?
Because I mean, if you could have a vagina for an hour, just to
Would you
fuck
rather be the
and finger
alien
and stuff,
or Sigourney Weaver?
wouldn't you love to finger yourself
Man, are you serious? You really want a vagina?
for
Are you
1
being
hour?
serious?
Brian
If you
wants-
could be for 1 hour to be Spider-Man or Spider-Woman
You-
or She-Hulk or She-Hulk or,
So that
or
you
Iron
could
Man
feel
or
what
Iron
it, so you could feel what it feels
bitch
like to get
girl.
fucked. Is that what you want? I want to
the-
know what it feels
the
like to
robot
get
from the
rammed.
Jetsons.
You're curious about that.
Oh,
you don't
you're
have
so
to.
silly.
You don't. It doesn't have to be a fantasy. You should just use your back
to
pussy.
have boobs and a
You could-
vagina for 1 hour,
And
you
what would
wouldn't
you
do it for
stick
1
in it
hour.
besides dicks?
No period. No period. Like this is fresh as they come for 1 hour.
1 hour, dude. You would get bored. You would want to start using it.
Yeah,
You'd
but-
be out on the street going, "Who wants a fuck? I got 40 minutes left as a woman."
Yeah, but if you're Superwoman, imagine flying around like on top of like the earth and just going, "Look how beautiful it is," and then you
damn.
start fingering your pussy and sucking on your own tits.
No, maybe it was weird.
While
Maybe-
you're doing it?
maybe it will stain your brain, and then when you come back to being a man again, it's imprinted in your memory. And now you just become gay.
Maybe.
Wasn't there a story about a dude who got in some sort of an accident and then became gay? It was like a
Yeah, but I think that's
Rugby player,
because
think it's horseshit?
the pictures of him before he was like sucking dicks and stuff like that.
What?
No, I mean he just had like he looked gay, pre-gay.
So you think it was just a good excuse?
Yeah.
Like you realize, hey, life is short.
Maybe.
Why don't I just say that I just got knocked gay?
I don't know. No, I just think if you're gonna do it for an hour and you get to fly around and look at nature, might as well finger yourself.
Okay. Well, I could see your logic.
You really wouldn't do it for an hour.
No, I'm not really into being a chick at all.
For an hour.
What
though.
if it's stuck?
Just to try. You'll never be able to do
I
it
wouldn't
ever.
be convinced that you could fucking
Damn,
get
dude. You know what?
snapped back.
You're saying right now? That's some deep shit. That's deep shit. What you're saying? This is heard
Seriously,
by
Eddie.
millions of people.
For 1 hour.
You have to deny that shit,
Dude,
Brian.
dude, this is like a movie from the 80s.
Dude, deny it. Deny it. Say that you're just trying to be funny right now.
No, I think for
Say
1
that
hour, it would be kind of fun.
You're curious to see how it would be to get
So
railed.
ticked. Yeah.
You could make that happen easily.
man.
You don't have to fucking. You can actually make that happen.
I'm just saying, man. Like most drugs, I'll try it once,
Wow.
Whoa.
but not get
That's-
sex or anything like that.
Whoa.
But like, I mean,
Except
like if
for
I
Like
Except for
being
that.
a woman.
no,
you're saying.
no. I'm saying if I could be Spider Woman or Spider Man, might as well be Spider Woman because you have boobs and a vagina. I'm not saying.
I see
I'm not
your
saying
logic.
like, hey, I want to have a sex change.
If I
I'm kind of
was
thinking
12
like, why not? If you're
and
gonna
I
go all
lived-
out,
If I was 12 and I lived in the 80s, I probably would agree with you.
right?
I'm gonna say.
Now I feel creepy.
Listen, man. No, there's nothing
could
wrong.
still
Turned
deny
into a
it.
joke.
You could still say it was a
that I
joke.
tried
Have you
to
ever
back
even contemplated the thought? I mean, it's a
Yeah.
funny thing for men, but even contemplated the thought of what it would be like to have, to switch places and to be a woman. Just what would it be like if you were born
I've
a woman?
never thought it ever, and I've never wanted to be a woman.
Dude,
but
good,
if I
good.
had to choose
No, keep it right
between
there.
Spider Woman and Spider Man, I think I might
No,
go
I
with the
understand
Spider
what you're
Woman.
saying. I understand what you're saying, but I'm saying it's a funny thing that people get really uncomfortable about the idea of even pretending that you're a woman. Or allowing yourself to even think, what would life be like as a woman? Like, men are like, what are you doing? What are you doing over there? It's a legitimate thought. I mean, there's only two sexes, okay? One's male and one's female. If you happen to be male and heterosexual, how much do you understand about what it's like to be a female heterosexual? Do you really understand it? No. You understand your side of it. What would you... if there was like a little thing, like a little chip, like Total Recall style, and you could be a woman having sex, and you can experience what it feels like to be a woman having sex with a man, would you do it? Or would that make you gay?
I'd be Superwoman, would fly to the Eiffel Tower and just go like, oh,
That would be some shit that girls would find out, and they'd be like really creeped out about you. You're like, wait a minute. You did, out of all the things you could do with Total Recall, you went and you were a woman getting fucked by a guy. Is that what you're telling me? Well, I'm just, it's not a gay thing at all. I just wanted to understand the experience. Wait a minute. You could have done anything and all that money, and you decided to be a girl getting fucked by a guy? Well, I don't think of it that way. I think of it as like, experiencing something that otherwise would be like completely out of my reach.
It sounds like there's a joke coming. You know what I mean? It does. It sounds like that.
It could be.
Like one of
I'll
your
write that down. I should
early
write that shit
early
down.
2000s. You're talking to some chick on the phone. Wait a minute. You
Girls-
mean to tell me?
Girls would not be happy with that. I wouldn't be happy if I was a chick and I found out a dude pretended to be a girl and got fucked by cock and be like, whoa, how much of that stays in your head? How much of that stays in your head? How much of the pleasure of cock that you enjoyed so much as a woman for that, whatever amount of time, how much of that is in your memories still? Did you love the cock during that time? Okay, because then you still love the cock. It could turn you gay. You can fuck around.
I'm just saying.
We're not saying you're gay.
It's
I'm
probably
talking
gonna happen.
I'm
It's probably
talking
gonna
in
happen.
comic book
That's probably the
ways.
future. That's probably what gay is all about. It's just some new evolutionary exchange so that we can have like less people.
What I think is gayer, and this has been happening a lot on the Ice House Chronicles, is other comics, I think it's happened twice now, saying if they were in a steam room and Brad Pitt or George Clooney walked in, would they totally fuck them? And I think
What?
Bert Kreischer said yes.
Well, wait a
and-
minute. Bert Kreischer said he would fuck Tom Cruise.
There was somebody else. I
Like,
can't
Bert
even remember.
Kreischer's just being funny.
No, but they were all being serious. I don't know if it was Bert Kreischer or not. Somebody tweet me if they can
Come
remind
on,
me. But it was
son.
Oh, now
two
you're
people.
saying you don't know if it's him. That's a
I
serious
think it was.
allegation.
I think it was.
Eddie Bravo is correct.
That's a serious
But-
a
but-
gay
but
allegation.
that's-
You
but
better
that's
know
been-
that name is correct.
But that's
Yes.
That's been happening a lot lately, and I'm like,
What?
why would you want to do it? It's like, dude. I think Sam Tripoli maybe also, but it was like, dude, it's fucking Brad Pitt.
Okay, but you know that this is all just for humor. I mean, you can't pretend these are real conversations you're having.
That's what I said. You're just kidding,
Of course
and they're
they
like,
are,
no,
dude.
we're
They're
not.
stand-up comedians. They're going for the joke. Of course
Yeah.
they
Okay.
are.
So with,
Whether or not I don't know whether or not Bert would actually Bert might let Tom Cruise fuck him just for the story. If Tom Cruise had a moderate to small sized dick, and he wore a condom, and Bert didn't have to kiss him, Bert might do it just for the story. Because Bert has the greatest stories in the history of the world, and you don't have those stories without taking some chances. I don't know, but he might be willing to do it just for the story. Most likely, I'd say no, though.
Damn.
Just fucking
He's not going to get mad when he hears that?
no. Bert Kreischer's the fucking man.
he'd be like,
He's the funniest guy of all time. He's right up there with Joey Diaz as far as like ridiculous natural humor. He's just such a silly guy. He's so fun, you know. Such a great guy to have around, you know.
So that the last podcast, it was all
And if you're
fucked
Tom
up.
Cruise, you can fuck him probably. Just kidding.
The last podcast was all fucked up. It's in 2 parts. You know, we had
The Josh Barnett one you're talking about.
Yeah, we had like a power thing where I got electrocuted and shit.
Yeah, we have the Ice House. Unfortunately, had a little issue with their electrical system that led to Brian getting electrocuted in his fucking face.
Yeah, and so so that night I took after you left after that podcast, I took apart the whole entire studio. Courtney came over and we went through and threw away all the stuff. I went through every wire to make sure it was on my side, and I put it back together. And we had another podcast, The Bone Zone. And right before the podcast started, somebody put in between the alley of the studio and the other building. I think it was somebody said it was like an M100 or something like that, which is like a quarter stick of dynamite, and it's a firework. But it
lit it?
But it's super illegal and
Who
lit
did
it.
this?
I don't know. It went boom, like super loud. I was inside, like plugging the outlet in after hooking up all the thing, and I put it in. And I stood up, and it happened. And I thought it was that, you know, because I just got electrocuted. And so, but I felt it on my face. My face went like
felt the
floppy,
impact?
like the impact.
So
and
someone threw a bomb at you.
pretty much, but they were doing it in between because there was a comedy show coming out, and some dude just threw it on the ground or something like that.
But where did it go? Did it go inside the room?
No,
or was it outside?
outside the room, right outside the room in that alley. So it was in a confined place because the 2 alley.
Right, and there's that space
Oh
there.
yeah,
Oh,
and it was
Jesus. Yeah, man, fireworks are a fucking ridiculous
Yeah.
idea in California. It's so goddamn dry.
I know.
And people are shooting shit up in the air.
All
You
day.
See what the fuck is going on in Colorado, man? You know, there's this huge wildfire. They think part of it was started. One of the rumors is some kids were shooting at things.
right.
They're fucking around with guns,
Right.
and they hit a rock or something like that and caused a spark, and that was it. That's all she wrote.
So I shit myself. We all ran outside, smoke everywhere.
Right.
People freaking out. I thought the building was blowing up. Like I thought
Right.
the electric thing, and all this, like something is not right. And freaked out. Anyways, we did the podcast. All this shit happened. After the podcast, I'm driving home. And I get to the stoplight, and I was about to go to the gas station, but I was like, no, I'm gonna stay. And this black dude starts walking up to me, holding 2 car stereos and like something else, some other box, like a camcorder box or something like that. And he stops. He starts screaming at me, and I turn up my stereos a little bit, and then I tried to roll up my window, but my window is fucked up. Like it's like some setting where I hit it, and it will like roll up halfway and then roll all the way down. I'm like, so then I hit it again, and it rolls up like only a little bit, and then it rolls down. I'm like, fuck, I'm just gonna keep it down. The guy starts screaming, like, and I'm just kind of ignoring him. And finally, I'm like in the corner of my eye, I'm like, all right, this dude's still staring at me and screaming at me, so I better look at him. So I look at him, he goes, give me a fucking cigarette. And I'm like, oh, yeah, all right. He goes, and then he goes, throw it on the motherfucking ground. I'm like, what? He goes, I'll go to jail for you. I got a gun, bitch. And I'm like, okay. And I threw the cigarette on the ground, and he picks it up, and he just like stares at me for like a minute, and people are honking the horns around because everyone else is seeing what's going on. And he fucking starts acting like he's gonna walk to me, like walk towards my window. I mean, the dude looked fucking psycho. Like he looked crazy. And then I just like the light turned green over, like, and I like took off turbo style in my car. But it was fucked up. That whole day was fucked up. That haunted ass day.
Yeah, that was a weird day. Josh Barnett was on the way up here from Orange County, got a blowout, barely controlled his car. He said it was trying to go into the dividing wall. He had to hold it together, pull over to the side of the road. He got to get towed. They changed his tire. Then he got to the podcast. By the time he got there, Brian had been electrocuted in the face.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That sucked. Did you hear it? Did you listen to
I
it?
heard
It was
the
like,
pop. Yeah, I saw this.
Yeah.
You can almost like see like a little.
There's a white
it's hard.
spark.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, that I didn't really see that. Did I really see that?
Yeah, you saw it.
And
'Cause
then you're
it was
"Ah!"
like,
Yeah, that's not good. Electrical shit is fucking freaky to me.
scary as fuck.
Yeah, electrical fires, that kind of stuff too. You got to be real careful when you're getting sparks like that. Who knows what the fuck that's gonna hit? Weird shit can happen.
My dad.
Well, you got, you know.
This storm just hit through Ohio, and like most of Columbus doesn't have power right
Isn't
now.
that like a lot of the whole East Coast?
Yeah. My dad said that he won't have power till next Wednesday.
Jesus Christ.
And so he has a generator just to do his refrigerator and his TV and fans.
That's scary shit, man. It's
But do
scary
you have a generator?
Shit. No, I need to get one. Huh?
No shit.
It's scary to find out how easy it is for the power to go out. You know, it's scary. Remember when there was some sort of scandal in California, and they were doing these brownouts where they would just shut people's power off for a little while. I don't remember what the scandal was. It was, I don't remember what, but they had been shown that there was some collusion involved in shutting people's power off. I don't know the exact story. I'm totally butchering it. But I remember thinking that, like, that was a scary thing, man, when that was going on, when they would just shut the power off in certain spots, you know?
Yeah.
It's like, wait a minute, you guys can't keep the fucking power on all the time? What are we doing?
That's really fucking scary.
Yeah, it is scary. It gets scary. Like, how much power do we have? You know, are we using it all up? Like, what's going on here?
That wizard last night is the second time where I've been like, all right, this is getting really dangerous out here.
You never
LA.
know, man. When you drive, you never know. You could zig when you should have zagged, and all of a sudden there's a crazy dude in front of you.
You know, when Justin Martindale...
Get your fucking window fixed.
When Justin Martindale got recently robbed and stuff like that, like a lot of people have been talking about it, and a lot of bartenders in Hollywood have been getting robbed because they have money at the end of the night and they're leaving. So these two guys are like targeting these guys, and I guess from a friend of a friend, what they're saying is that there's a really bad problem right now with people getting mugged in Hollywood, but they're not saying anything because they don't want it to, you know, about a lot of attention drawn to it.
Right.
But like, it's really bad. A lot of people.
Wow.
A lot of people are getting fucked.
The economy's in the toilet, man.
More of a reason to do jujitsu.
Yeah, I guess. You know,
Yeah.
someone
Or buy
pulls
a gun.
on you. Yeah, you know what, man?
I'm kidding
You don't want to
about
get in a
that.
gunfight. You know, we need to figure out what the fuck the problem is. Our society is just, it's so funny how little we do, like in terms of, or little we require in terms of government and as far as like engineering our future, as far as like, you know, figuring out a way to cut crime back, looking at all the methods that are
Superheroes.
possible. Looking at, no, not superheroes.
Seriously,
I'm talking
what-
about looking at different methods to rehabilitate people. Took a look at ibogaine or ayahuasca or, you know, any fucking anything that you could do that could help like rehabilitate kids once they get into trouble. Once you realize that they're headed down a bad alley, you know, we do like nothing for that. You know, it's very little consideration. It's not like something that's on like the internet every day. They're talking about all these kids that are growing up in shitty homes, and what we need to do is figure out a way to provide some sort of guidance for a kid that doesn't get it from home, some sort of a way to take advantage of all these young kids and give them something. Like, isn't that what, like, shouldn't that be a part of what like the government is? Doesn't that make sense? I mean, if you needed them for anything, wouldn't he, like, they would, let's say we need to look at the future of our youth. This is the plan. We need to figure out a way to stop all the fucking people from dropping out of school. We need to figure out a way to pay for more schools. That kind of shit. Wouldn't that be the answer in some way?
In a perfect world.
What's wrong with this world? This world could be perfect if everybody got their shit together. If the world was filled with cool motherfuckers, it is a perfect world.
We are the world.
We are the children. It's totally possible for anyone to get their shit together up to a reasonable point. I feel like a serial killer. You probably shouldn't be fucking hanging around, even if you're sorry. But you know what I mean? For most folks, it's very possible for anybody at some point in their life to have some sort of an experience that puts them on some sort of a path to eventually getting their shit together. I don't count anybody out. I think it's almost possible for everybody, except extreme idiots that are probably just here to dig holes. I think there's got to be a few of those too. But other than that, right?
Yes. I'm so fucking baked right now, dude. I agree with you. Yes.
I'm so glad
I'm all down. I'm all down for
podcast.
positivity and prosperity, all that shit. Yeah.
I just think we have to figure out a way to make people nicer. And the best way is all the shit they're trying to keep us from. The best way is weed. You see this Long Beach raid? They fucking stepped on this kid's neck. This
Yeah.
kid was a Kid did nothing wrong, complied completely. They said, get on your knees, put your hands up,
Stepped
lay on
right
your
on
back.
his face.
The guy stepped on his back and then stepped on his neck. Big fucking cop. Big guy, man.
It was just like clumsy style. Like, I don't give a shit.
Like
about
he doesn't
you.
give a fuck about him. Like, I own you, bitch. He stepped on him like a carpet. But the problem
Yeah.
is they didn't know that they were being filmed. And there was a camera up there, and the camera apparently records at a remote location. It doesn't even record there. So you can't, like, get the video. So the cops couldn't do anything. They smashed the cameras, but they couldn't do anything to get rid of the video.
Oh,
Yeah.
shit.
They did this fucking video of them smashing the cameras.
Is
You see
Anonymous
that
going after
undercover
him?
kid?
Well, it's the first of all, cops have no business smashing security cameras. You have no business doing that. You're supposed to abide by the fucking law. Just because you're a cop doesn't mean because you enjoyed that episode of Shield when that fucking what is that was the Shield? What was that dude's name? Michael Chiklis.
Yeah.
Michael Chiklis would rough people up and kick them and step on their head. This is real life, you fucking cunt. You're being paid by these people. These people pay taxes, you fuckhead.
Yeah, watch the video. It's on, I think,
It's
Long
horrible
Beach
to watch.
Raids on YouTube. I think that's what it is.
Look, 20 years ago, they would have beat the fucking kid to death with a bat and said that he came at him with a knife. If
Yeah.
it was a bad cop. I think bad cops today are under much more scrutiny than bad cops in the past. If you look at like Serpico and shit like that, look at those Al Pacino movies, and hear about the stories of corruption in that movie Cocaine Cowboys, where the whole Miami Police Department, half of half of 1 year of the graduating class of the police academy, half of them were murdered, and the other half of them went to jail for corruption. Like they were all gangsters.
Yeah.
They were breeding gangsters. I don't think that's possible today. I think there's cops today are way better than they've ever been before. But a lot of them are under a lot of stress, and they develop a fucking us versus them mentality, and they do shit like that, or they just step on some kid's neck, and they just did it because they could, and that's a cunty thing, man. You can't just do something because you can. You can't just step on some kid's neck who's not doing anything wrong. He's a young kid too. The kid looks like he's like 20, 21 years old, right? He doesn't look. He looks like a really young kid.
Is someone
wasn't doing
going after
anything.
that guy? Is someone going after the cop?
Yeah,
Fuck yeah,
there's
they're
an
going after him. They
investigation.
should.
there,
Really?
Look,
yeah.
man, this kid didn't do anything wrong. He did everything they asked of him, and it was creepy. And there's I don't want to bring race into it, but he's a black kid, and they're stepping on his back and stepping on his neck, and it's I don't know what the race of the cop was. He looked like he was a white cop. I don't know what the
remember.
fuck he was. But either way, man, that's fucking completely uncalled for. If that kid had been out there throwing rocks at cars in the street, fuck yeah, step on his neck. If that kid had been out there robbing old ladies or beating people up or what, yeah, fuck yeah, step on his neck, man. Kick him in the fucking head once you have him down. But he didn't do anything.
But honestly, you should have just comply with the law. You had him down on the ground, just handcuff him.
Yeah, but I'm saying if you
none of
got a
your-
dangerous person, you have to do something to immobilize them. If you got them lying down on the ground, man, I would for sure soccer kick him in the head if it was legal. If you got like a really dangerous guy, like if you have like some Ted Bundy type dude, and and you're in a situation with him, where he's resisting arrest.
Mm-hmm.
You're not gonna kick him in the head while he's on his way down.
poke his stick in his butt like
Wouldn't you want to kill him?
Gaddafi.
Poke his stick in his butt.
I'd punch him as hard as I can in the shoulder.
Punch him in the shoulder. What's legal? But
Stick in
does
the
the
butt.
guy, if the guy makes a move on you, are you allowed to hit him? Like how does that work for a cop? Because cops have to be careful about that, right?
Yeah.
Like for sure, they're always on edge because for sure most people don't like to be arrested, and you never know when someone's gonna fucking freak out and punch you in the face and try to get away with something. So for sure they have to be on edge all the time. But when they take it out on someone who does nothing, I can't take your side anymore because now you fucked up. Because I'm on your side. When you're dealing with the cunts of the world, I'm on your side. But when you do that to a kid because he works in a place where they sell plants that make you happy, well then you're a cunt.
Yeah.
That's just the way it is. This poor cop became a cunt. He became a cunt by doing his job. Probably didn't even realize he was a cunt. He realizes he's a cunt now. Now that video got out and people realize like what a fucking shitty thing that is to do to a young kid.
It's becoming real good business to raid dispensaries and just rob them.
Yeah, they take their money. They take the money
So
and
they
they
now
prof-
it becomes more profitable for them for more states to legalize it, as medicine. They're just gonna raid and fucking pillage.
Yeah, well, I hope there's some way to stop that. I really do. It's a disgrace, and it's just one of those things where people are doing something just because they're allowed to do something. If you look at the allocation of resources and how much crime exists in our world, you would say, well, let's concentrate on the things that are really hurting people. You know, is marijuana really hurting people? No, it's not. You know what's really hurting people? Murderers. You know what's really hurting people? Drunk drivers. You know what's really hurting people? People that are trying to harm people. People that do assaults and rapes. People that are, there should be, that's the stuff that we should be protecting people from. Number one, when we get that under wraps, then once you start looking at some other stuff, like, you know, personal use stuff, like alcohol, tobacco, marijuana, everything, all the above, I think we should examine them all equally. But what's unfair about our society is that these people that are supposed to be in control, supposed to be our leaders, are for sure under a financial umbrella of one aspect of the community that's trying to keep these natural drugs illegal, the pharmaceutical companies. They would go lose an incredible amount of money if you took all the illegal shit like ibogaine and marijuana. If all that stuff started getting researched and all that stuff started getting like laws passed and government, you know, foundations where they set up ibogaine research centers where people go in to relieve themselves of addictions. If that shit started happening, man, pharmaceutical drug companies would lose a fuckload of money. I'm not saying they want people to be addicted to like oxys and shit like that, but people are addicted, and then that money's coming in, man. That money's coming in, and it's not a little money. It's rivers and rivers of money. The pharmaceutical industry is so big, even if they have the best intentions, the amount of money is so staggering. It just gets out there, man. It finds a way to get out there. Salesmen, even if it's not the fucking company's idea, they take the weight off their shoulders. Leave it to the pharmaceutical representatives. And the pharmaceutical representatives, they take nurses out to dinner and doctors out to dinner, and they fund like golf trips and shit. And they're like, come on, support our stuff. They're like street hustlers, you know? And then they connect it to the people, and boom, people just get pop, 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 pop. Pills everywhere you look. It's amazing. It's amazing that we see it. It's all written right down right there, and yet the government doesn't do anything about it. They don't investigate that. Instead, they go after medical marijuana dispensaries. That's ridiculous. If you look at the things that are doing harm in this world, that you would spend any time whatsoever, it's just like, why are you doing that? You haven't done your homework yet. You haven't finished your job. You haven't done the right thing. Why are you concentrating on these extracurricular things? Because they're written down and they're easy. It's written down that it's legal. So even though the community would completely disagree, if you looked at allocation of resources, I guarantee you the community would completely disagree. That forget about all the murderers. Forget about, let's get a team of people together that aren't doing any other real police work that day and make them do something that's abhorrent. Make them rob a bunch of fucking people that are selling marijuana state legally. It's sad. It's sad. It's sad that the cops have to resort to that. It's sad.
It's weird seeing the undercover cop in the video because he was dressed up like all teenagey.
Yeah,
and,
the whole
and
thing
stuff.
is
It's creepy.
Completely sad as fuck. I feel sad for the cops that have to do that. I really do. I think most cops do not want to do bullshit, stupid fucking pot.
Yeah.
You know, dispensary bust.
And especially this one. This one's so small. If you look at it, it looks like it's just a tiny operation, but they just destroyed it and stepped on people.
It's fucking gross. You
ridiculous.
know, I blame the leadership, man. I blame the leadership. I think, you know, most of these street cops, they do what they have to do because they get told what to do.
Right.
I think that we had to look at what we're doing, man. You can't keep arresting people for no fucking reason just because they're selling weed. It's stupid. It's just stupid. Let them pay taxes, goddammit. There's money to be made here.
Or treat them at least like humans.
Yeah, at least, you know, the whole idea of like going after them and raiding them and taking the money, it's so gross. It's disgusting. It's like, what are you preventing? Are you preventing any crime other than this stupid fucking written thing that says somewhere that you're not supposed to enjoy certain experiences because the government has deemed them out of your reach? The government that hasn't even had these experiences. That's disgusting.
Yeah.
God damn it, Eddie Bravo.
Yeah, man.
It's disgusting, right?
Yes, it's
You know,
crazy.
you
It's,
checked out.
you know, it's the people at the high levels. They know the truth. They know how beautiful and magical the plant is.
Do you think
that's
they do?
why? Of
Really?
course they do. The
Do you
people
think
at the top.
they actually experience it?
You don't
and
think
they
the
keep it to
pharmaceutical
themselves?
business doesn't know that? You think they don't have any idea? Of course they know.
you
They
think
want
it-
to stomp it out.
If you work for a pharmaceutical business, you just get pharmaceuticals like a motherfucker. Like every day you're at the office just trading pills back and forth to each other.
Shit, yeah. Oh, you know what? I will say this, man. I fucked up my back the other day in jiu-jitsu, and I took a Vicodin. I took a Vicodin and 2 Percocets, and my back was still fucked up. That shit fucks with your boner. First time ever I went limp during sex.
Wow.
Yeah,
Vicodins and
Vicodin.
Percocets?
Yeah, I was on two Percocets, maybe 3, and a Vicodin, and that night I tried to have sex. My dick just
It
fell
sounds
apart.
like your body is probably
does it
being
work?
poisoned.
First,
That's
first
that's
time I went
poison.
limp in a long time, many years.
Wow.
That's a lot of shit, man. Are you supposed to mix them like that?
Dude, my back's fucked right now. It's still fucked up.
What part of your back? Your lower
My
back?
lower back, it froze on me, man. I slept on the floor last night trying to work it out. Apparently, if you sleep on the floor, I don't know if that's a myth that if you sleep on the floor, it's supposed to it's good for your back.
You should get it in an isolation
Doesn't
tank.
seem like it would.
That'll help a little.
It doesn't seem
get
like
an
it would be.
massage.
It seems like your back would be
Right.
ruined from
Right.
sleeping on the floor.
Did
but
you get a massage or anything?
no, I haven't. I haven't had time.
Don't use a pillow.
Go.
But I need one. I do
yeah,
need
go to
one.
a deep tissue person.
Yeah, yeah,
Someone who's
for
gonna
sure.
fuck your shit up.
Thai massage.
Yeah, that's good too. But you might be like in pain for a Thai massage. They won't want to bend you up and shit.
It's a lot
I
better
guess they
today
know
than
what
it
to
was
do, though,
yesterday.
for
I'm on
her.
no pain pills today. Yesterday I was on the pain pills. I'm on no pain pills today, and it still hurts. But at least I don't have to take any Vicodins.
Wow, man. I never take shit when I get injured. I hurt my back pretty bad like 4 months ago. It was a real annoying thing for a while. I'm glad that I can just deal with it, because if I had gotten on something, if I had taken some sort of pain pills, I'd be taking it for a few months. And I could have got addicted easily. I don't know. I don't know what the physiological effects of that are, but I was in some pretty good pain most of the time for like a whole month and a half.
And 98% of the time I have sex, I'm high, and that doesn't fuck with my boner.
No, that
It
makes it
doesn't-
better. Doesn't it make you more compassionate? It makes you more like sensual.
It makes the orgasm
I
huge.
actually see. I'm weird about it. I like weed, but I think alcohol. I love fucking when I'm on alcohol.
Really?
Like,
Oh, yeah,
That's
you
an
make-
inhibition thing
yeah.
too.
like a lot of people don't like the
Really?
alcohol. People always like, I can get whiskey dick, or something.
Well,
like that.
if you get really fucked up, you can get whiskey dick. But
Yeah, you'd have to drink a lot, man.
yeah, I would not. I would have to be not alive.
Yeah, of course, you're a little tipsy.
We've all
you have
been there.
You have a glass of wine.
I've certainly
and some
been
weed.
there. I've
Sex
gotten
is
whiskey dick
perfect.
before, for sure.
Really?
Fuck yeah, for
I
sure.
don't think I've ever done that.
Dude, if you start, the problem when you start drinking is alcohol reduces inhibitions. All right, it removes your inhibitions, and it removes your inhibitions more with every drink. So if you're a little tipsy, you got like a little bit of inhibitions.
You ever throw up
removed.
on a chick?
No,
I
I've
did.
never done that.
Right as I was about to eat her pussy.
Oh
threw
my
up
God.
all over her pussy.
Serious?
Yeah, hot chick. I was 19. She was like, we were drinking Greyhounds. I'll never forget. It was the Greyhounds.
What's
we
a
were just pounding.
Greyhound?
And we're like, Greyhound is, I think it's gin. What is a Greyhound? It's light green, light yellow. I'm not sure what the alcohol
A bunch
is.
of blueberries.
It's grapefruit juice and vodka or something like that. I think it's grapefruit juice and vodka. Anyways, it was a Greyhound, whatever the fuck it is. I'm not a bartender. So, man, I couldn't believe I was getting this piece of ass super hot, opened up her legs, and all I remember is I threw up on her. They just grabbed me. She grabbed me. They dragged me down the hallway. And I just remember scenes of going through the hallway, throwing up down the hallway. And they're trying to get me to the toilet. And I finally get to the toilet. I have a couple more yaks left.
Please tell me you
Never
fucked the throat.
fucked her. Never saw her again, ever. Never saw that one.
Yeah, when I was
There's no way you can come back from that.
You could fuck the throw up into her.
when I was young and I
Damn,
first started
dude.
drinking. Ew, Brian.
Use that lube on her ass.
When I was Brian,
Carrot in there.
What?
Take the carrot out and fuck her in the ass.
Brian, please.
Enzymes are
That's
a
not
good
funny. That's just
lubrication.
retarded. I think you can burn yourself. You probably burn your dick.
It's stomach
Bile.
acid in your
Why do you
penis
have-
hole.
Sir, why do you have bile burns on your dick? Whatever.
I don't know.
Fucking nothing, whatever, man. Come on, who does it? Come on, man. Nobody ain't throwed up on your dick.
Tried to fuck your throw up in her ass, didn't you?
Yeah, blow up. You threw up in her and then just said it's all slippery down there. Let me just start fucking.
Yeah.
Yeah, that might be good, like
That was
goobery
it.
and shit. It might be
That was
really
over.
good.
It was over.
I fell asleep while I was going down on my girlfriend once. At least once. When I was
Oh, yeah,
young, when I
that's-
used to have my paper route.
Yeah, that's quite common. But I didn't fall asleep because I was tired because I fucking threw papers all day. I got tired. I'd be like drunk and I partied all night. And you just get home and you pull down your pants and you just fall asleep or something. She goes to the bathroom and you're just waiting and then you're done. She comes back and you're snoring.
Were you guys ever paper boys?
Yeah, I was.
How creepy is that now looking back? They don't have
Well, I
paper
wasn't
boys
a
anymore,
boy.
do they?
I was a paper man. I had a car. I only delivered it with a car.
I was in 6th or 7th grade, and I remember waking up at 5 a.m. My parents weren't even awake, and I would like go outside and find these newspapers, and like have to put them in the bags.
You know what, man?
It's weird.
It's weird now because the fact that you were out there, you know, unsupervised, and we know how creepy people are, how creepy adults are. But it's good for a kid to get some sort of responsibility, something that they don't want to necessarily do, but they do, and learn how to like just fucking some shit in your life is gonna need to just get done. You're gonna need to do that, you know. And there's a good benefit to teaching a kid that early, you know. And that's what's great about a paper route. A paper route is like I remember kids that I knew that had paper routes when I was young. They were like more organized than the other kids. They're like more like Jimmy's got a fucking landscape business already. He's 13. Like what? It's fucking landscape business. Like this kid, he started out with a paper route, and then when the kid was just like fucking delivering newspapers on a bike every morning before school. Like that guy's ambitious as fuck. Like he would get up like an hour and a half before everybody else had to get up for school. And he would go down with his bike, get his newspapers, and then fucking drive around on his bike and deliver newspapers. That motherfucker had some stick-to-itiveness. You know what I mean?
I had a friend do the same thing. One of my good friends growing up.
Yeah, you
that.
learn how to work hard when you're a kid like that. Yeah. But that's not good. I think
I was never good at waking up early.
it's torture.
Never.
Sucked.
It's no why sleep is awesome. God damn it, I'm enjoying my life right now. That's one of the things monkeys like to do. Sit back and fucking chill. Oh man, can I just relax a little longer here?
Apparently, when you
Why am I
get old, though,
getting
you don't want to sleep in anymore. You just wake up.
What?
Is that true?
I've been
When you're
waking up a
50 or
lot
60?
earlier
Because you always
lately.
hear like old people waking up at 6 or 5.
People are weird. Who knows? Everybody's got their own clock.
That would be awesome.
My clock is I'm up like, and it's been my clock since I was a comedian. Where you
What time do you get up?
You write noonish.
Noonish. You go that
Yeah,
deep?
Yeah.
Damn.
I like to go noonish.
I
Yeah, but
wake
you're up
I can.
really
10:30.
late. Like
Yeah.
I'm up late, but
Well, I'm
you're
up till
always
5
up
in the
later than
morning.
me. I
Oh,
think.
really?
Usually like 5. Yeah, my best shit gets done. My best work gets done at night when I know everybody else is asleep. For whatever reason, I want to know my whole neighborhood's asleep.
Yeah.
I want to know there's nothing. There's no sound.
That's like Mike Tyson shit right there.
I don't know what. I don't know what it is.
Didn't he
man.
get up like at 3 because he
Oh,
knew no
yeah.
one else was working out?
Yeah, we get up at 3:00 in the morning because I knew my opponents wouldn't be doing that.
That's really good, man.
Yeah.
Mike Tyson's one of the easiest.
He's an easy one.
He's an easy one.
Yeah, Tyson and Arnold, and those are like the staples.
Yeah.
For a while when we were younger, it was Captain Kirk and Jack Nicholson. Remember, everybody would do a Jack Nicholson impression.
Yeah.
Well,
It's a weird thing, dudes. You can mimic.
What's the
other
funniest
people's
impression
voice.
right now?
I don't know. Who's like the funniest impressionist? Who's like your favorite guy? That's an
Michael
impressionist?
Winslow.
he's always pretty
Sandy.
funny.
Is he still around?
Sandy
Does he still?
Dog.
Yeah. He's the guy that makes insane noises with his mouth.
He still does
Yeah,
voices.
he has like whammy paddles and shit. Like his show is ridiculous. Like you
How
can't
about-
believe that it's actually coming out of his mouth. He did what is it? Not Purple Haze. Fuck. What is the I forget what the fucking Voodoo Child. He did Voodoo Child the beginning with his mouth. You should actually pull it up because it's kind of fucking incredible.
Michael Winslow.
Yeah, Michael.
Oh yeah,
Win-
we played this like
Did we play?
yeah,
this?
like 10 episodes ago. Yeah.
I don't remember playing.
Yeah, we
this.
totally
You
did.
sure
That's
you
the
didn't
only
do
way
this
I
on
know
Bone
it.
Zone?
Yeah, no, I did. You told me about it.
Did I really?
Yeah.
You sure?
Yeah, we played it.
Man, I forgot, but I want to see it again. Can we see it again, please? Because I forgot how. I think it was a long time ago, dude.
No, because I remember it was about maybe 20 episodes.
But there's something cool about watching someone imitate. Oh, you know who's a fucking awesome impressionist? Dice Clay.
yeah.
Dice Clay has like the best John Travolta. Like
Oh,
he
yeah,
had, like
yeah.
amazing John
Italian.
Travolta.
Because he's got
Lockhart.
Italian down.
Yeah.
Freddie Lockhart, Jeff Richards is really good. Also.
But it's really good. Oh, yeah, Freddie Lockhart's amazing. Freddie Lockhart's Morgan Freeman. That's probably one of the best impressions I've ever heard. It's as dead on as you can get. Like if he called you up, you know, and said, "I'd like to put you in a movie," you'd be like, "Whoa, shit! I'm gonna be in a movie with Morgan Freeman." This is crazy, man. This is gonna freak you out.
The original artist key of E.
Yeah.
All right.
Have you heard this, Eddie?
No.
This is a dude with a guitar, and then Michael Winslow's mouth. Oh, it's a whole lot of love. That's what it is. Fuck yeah! Fuck yeah! Come on, man. That's his mouth. God damn. You know, there's a lot of comedy snobs out there, man, that got no respect for Michael Winslow. You know, I think that guy.
That was incredible.
That's amazing.
That was incredible.
That shit's
Yeah.
genius. There's people like, oh, he's making noise with his mouth. That is completely not just what he's doing.
Yeah.
He's on some crazy another level with that.
Yeah.
That is wild, man.
Yeah, that was great.
The fucking noises that he can make with his mouth. And the way he did it in tune, and even his singing was good.
Yeah.
His fucking Robert Plant was good.
Yeah.
That's amazing. You have to watch that, folks. Check that out on YouTube because it's such a weird thing to watch. You watch it and you go like, wow. Like you really get you see that's his mouth. Motherfucker. Do you think he smokes weed?
He's got to.
If he
I'm going to
doesn't.
say yes.
Yeah, I would say
If he
yes.
doesn't, I would be shocked.
My God, if he doesn't, he's even more impressive.
Yeah.
Imagine
If he
some weed.
doesn't, you got to get him high, and then shit, he'll take that shit to the next level
Could
with
you
the
imagine
noises,
the fucking noises that guy would make if he doesn't?
alien
and then he
noises
got high?
and shit.
I wonder if when he fucks, if he has like a little joke
Oh,
he
yeah,
does to
probably.
the ladies, like
Probably throws his voice and
Yeah.
shit. Pretends to be other people. Yeah.
He probably has a killer snap because everyone's got an okay one. I got a cool one, but he's probably got a fucking one that's in stereo.
Well, he probably could pretend to be different dudes too.
Yeah.
Get chicks like that.
Damn.
Come in with a fucking Australian cattle rancher's hat on, and a long mustache, and a new voice.
I just want to eat this pussy.
If there was a thing like what we were talking about earlier about actually like having an artificial experience, you know, and you know, if we ever get to the point technologically where they can do that, like shut you off and tune you into some crazy fake avatar world for like an hour, would you be willing to take that chance? Would you be willing to try that?
Depends if I have a
Yeah.
vagina.
I would be Kenato Laranja just for 1 hour.
But I mean, would you trust it? Would you trust it? I mean, would you? I mean, that look when you have a psychedelic experience, the scariest part about it is right before you're about to do it. You know, when you're like, "Fuck, I can't fucking. I'm gonna let go here."
If if people were dying from this shit, no, I wouldn't do it. I'd wait for the
What if it was the first time?
a year.
you wouldn't want to be like the
At first, there'd be people
technological
dying.
version of the artificial lip.
Yeah.
I would trust that more than trusting like Cricket Mobile's thing to the moon.
Because then you'll see
Virgin
those
Mobile.
fucking commercials. Have you been another person in another life? If you have chosen Spider Woman, you could have cancer. We'll fight for you. You know what I mean? You never know. These pills that come out a year later, they're giving you fucking heart attacks.
Yeah, well, there's some of them that are certainly doing that.
Dr. Drew.
Yeah, Dr. Drew's in deep shit.
What's up with that?
Dr. Drew apparently was paid to talk up, or allegedly, I should say, paid to talk up the sexual side effects of certain what are they called?
Viagra's?
SSRIs?
Antidepressants.
No, antidepressants, but I forget the actual technical term.
Made one girl.
Anyway, this type of antidepressant on many people with many formulations causes people to go limp. But some girl calls up and says she had like 150 orgasms, and then Dr. Drew was apparently pushing this stuff, and they paid him $250,000 to do that, and he didn't really necessarily disclose that they paid him all this money allegedly.
But I would like to see that girl do 150 orgasms, whatever. That'd be so hot.
Yeah, that bitch sounds crazy. But you never know when people are trolling. She's calling Loveline, man. She could be totally trolling. I mean, there's people who completely pretend that they have something wrong with them when they don't. For sure, they get a lot of people that are legit. But they must. We know all the trolls on the internet. You don't think that people are compiling some troll footage on Loveline?
Oh, check out her mattress. See if there's any stains. I'm sure if you have that much orgasms, there's going to be a lot.
Yeah, that's what you would do. Well, I'm not sure if I believe your story, ma'am. So let me come to your house and deeply investigate your claim by going into your fucking bedroom and examining your mattress. Do you even hear yourself?
Do you ever look at your old mattress? I just got a new mattress. That's how I know it. 'Cause, like, I took off my sheet.
Was it gross?
It looked like fucking just brown drip. Like, it looked like a lot of liquids and stuff. And then there was like some blood spots, you know. And there was a lot of different colors.
Easy over here. Well, they say that your mattress actually gets heavier with human skin cells.
Yeah.
Like, your mattress when you buy it is like X amount of weight, and then you have it for a couple of years, and it's like heavier.
Yeah.
That's creepy as shit, man. We're
Dust.
We're
Dust mites.
gross. We're gross, man. That's what dust is. Most of it is our skin. Our creepy fucking
That's why
skin.
you put sheets on your
Yeah, you know what's key?
mattress.
This time around,
Constantly scrubbing everything.
This time around, I got something that's like these waterproof sheets where you put it around your whole entire mattress and it locks it in so nothing can get in there.
Right.
And it's on the outside. It feels like nice cushion, and then you put your regular sheets on top of that.
Right.
And it totally will make that shit not happen. You know, like the stains.
Yeah.
And like all the dust and skin and bugs, and it makes it like waterproof pretty much.
Damn.
Check those out. They're called waterproof sheets. I think they are.
Oh, so does it feel like slimy underneath you?
No,
Does
no.
it slip around?
No,
at all?
because it's like on the outside, it's like a
Like fabric?
like a fabric, a real soft, like almost like teddy bear, almost
Oh, okay.
Damn. I would hate it back in my single days. I would hate it when girls would have like
silk.
periods and shit during sex. Like, you just ruined this shit went all the way through to the mattress.
I know.
bitch. That sucks.
That shit sucks, man.
Everyone has, not everyone, but I'm sure you've had a mattress or two that had like all sorts of stains. I don't look like a UFC mat.
you
know
gotta.
what I mean?
UFC mat.
Yes.
You gotta put a towel down, son.
Yeah.
It's simple.
But they
don't
say,
always tell you.
Yeah, or they say, dude, no, I'm done. I stopped yesterday,
don't
and then you
know.
fuck them and it starts back up. You know?
They don't. Yeah.
And then you have a
Sometimes
girl
it's
that
just
squirts and just
Squirts
soaks
mixed.
Don't
everything
you
up.
feel embarrassed for the girl though? Do you ever actually get upset at a girl if she has her period?
No.
No, I don't. I don't. But I don't like when it's messy.
I've always been so happy that someone was willing to fuck me. I'm like, oh well, you made a mess. Oh, you shit the bed. Well, let's just clean that up and not worry about that.
There's a difference.
I don't
between,
mind. I don't mind blood all over my dick. That isn't. You just wash that shit up. It's just now I got stains on shit.
Yeah, there's a difference between that, like where you fuck them and it's accidentally blood, or when they just like know that their period was near and they're like, no, I just want to sleep naked, and you're like, come on, that's not taking responsibility for having an open wound, you know?
Oh, does it leak out while they're sleeping?
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, that's how
right?
it leaks out when they're panties, you know. You know, and
What a
ruins their
weird
panties.
design, huh? What
Yeah.
a fucking crazy design. Like for one time every month, your shit just sort of falls
Surprised it
apart.
doesn't happen.
How weird
to
though.
us. What if our dick's blood, like just peed blood all the time?
It's just strange. It's just a strange
I
thing.
think that happens
Like,
when you get
blood?
90.
Yeah, it just sheds the inside of your dick. Sheds, honey. Would you blow me? But I'm on my period.
Just start
like
peeing
women
freckles.
did. Some girls would like it. They want the extra protein of the blood. Goth chicks, they'd want to blow you when you were on your period. It'd be really hot.
Man.
Yeah, we're lucky in a lot of ways, man. We're lucky we don't give birth. I've always said that if men had their dicks explode, like a girl's pussy has to go through damage, or if you had to get a cesarean to have a kid, like how many kids would there be? If dudes got pregnant, we had to have a cesarean every time we gave birth. Be like, look, honey, I had to work. I got no fucking time to have a cesarean. Can't take me out of work for a month. Jesus fucking Christ!
Yeah,
If
nobody
our
would.
dicks exploded,
Can you imagine the dudes that would want to carry a baby?
What if that was the two options? You could either go the old school way where your dick explodes and you never use it again.
Would that
or
almost
they
would that
give you a
almost be
cesarean.
that would almost be gay, right? If
Well,
you,
maybe
like,
that
if you
would
got
be the
pregnant?
way that they would prevent men from having more than one child. The child would come out of your dick, and so that you impregnate. You have sex with a woman, and you feel like you're impregnating her. You shoot a load out, but it actually goes back inside of you from the woman. Something. I don't know, she
Damn.
drops a fucking hatch in there. You get the egg from the woman. It plants inside your body. Maybe that's it. There you go. And so when the baby comes out, it comes out through your dick, and boom, that's it. One kid. That's all you get. Raise it right. Wow, that's a crazy idea. That actually is probably a good idea. That might be the best way to save the world. We got to re-engineer people so that babies come out of men and their dicks explode, and that'll put everything in perspective. There'll only be 1,000 people on Earth, though. Probably not even 1,000, right? It'd be like 100, 100 little fishing villages scattered throughout the world with dudes with just blown out dicks.
Or you shit out a baby. That would be awesome. They figure out a way to plant a baby inside your large
You'd be
intestine.
so selfish. You'd be like, you really want to shit on your baby? Oh, that's ridiculous. That doesn't make sense. You just ruined the what if.
You might as
You
well
just
go
brought
there.
it so ridiculous that you made a shit
Hey, that's
baby.
realistic, man. Come on.
Well, didn't you used to have a sketch that you wrote called Shit Baby?
Yeah.
Yeah. My friend Amir had a really funny joke about, and my friend he was like real like deadpan. He's like, yeah, my friend got his girlfriend pregnant from anal sex. The baby looked like shit.
Somebody just said that exact same joke the other day to me.
That was the premise of Shit Baby.
Yeah,
is-
like anybody. It's not like the most brilliant
Right.
and original thought. It was just the way Amir did it. It was very funny.
So funny.
Yeah, James Lemur was his name in Boston. He had a different name. His real name is Amir, but he has like a very Jewish name, but he changed it to James Lemur.
Shit Baby was about the opening scene is some girls getting plowed in the ass really hard. Dude nuts, pulls out, jumps in the shower. She's laying there face down, huffing and puffing. The camera zooms in on the butt, and you see cum dripping out of the butthole into the pussy, right?
Dun, dun,
So,
dun.
so then she gets pregnant, and when she has the baby, like woven into the baby's DNA is that smell of feces. So it just that's the problem with the baby. The baby just stinks like shit. And there's flies around the baby at all times. So this chick brings up this kid.
This is a documentary, right?
This chick brings up this kid that smells like shit. Like, what would I mean? Everywhere she goes, she's spraying, the bad spray everywhere, just
Wait,
constantly.
that
There's
seems like that
flies
shit
everywhere.
would be real.
Smell is a weird thing, man. It's
Yeah.
really weird that we all accept that there's some invisible shit that we can take in with a hole in our face. It's kind of weird. The invisible shit that's awesome. Like when you walk into a good burrito place and you smell the Mexican food cooking, like, oh shit.
Fogo. Smell-
Yeah, Fogo, perfect example. You smell that meat as it's coming by. It's weird, man. It's like it's a weird invisible thing, but your nose can pick it up. You can even smell where things, like if you pick up your underwear and go to the crotch, you could smell like that you've worn it. You could smell your body on. I mean, that's crazy. Some invisible identity shit that you leave behind.
Nothing's worse than human shit, for sure. That
Death.
bad pussy and feet.
Yeah,
Bad feet.
That's it.
Those
Yeah.
are and
Well, it's,
yeah, that's right. A
and
corpse.
Well,
A
yeah, a corpse. Anything that's trying to keep you away from it. It's interesting how that works. I mean, it's your brain is really fine tuned to like get away from anything that's really bad for you, and so it sounds an alarm when you're in the presence of a decaying corpse. All those chemicals send an alarm through your system, and you just immediately.
Nobody likes it.
Yeah, the thought of
No.
eating that corpse is impossible.
Some people. There's a small percentage of people that do like it.
Yeah. Oh well, some people like all sorts of weird things.
The smell of a dead, rotting body. Can you imagine that? If you knew somebody that actually liked that and they confessed that to you, like, say, I've never told anybody before, but I fucking love rotting flesh.
I think that could be possible, like for anything. I mean, I think there's people that are nutty enough to get in love with anything. They can get in love with cutting their own fingers.
What's the
off. Have you
latest
ever
with the
seen
bath
that?
salts? Give me the latest. I know you know the latest.
Well, what bath salts are, and this is what it's been explained to me, is that you can take a drug that's an illegal drug, and all you have to do is change certain molecules in that drug, and then you release it, like you add like a salt to it, and you release it as bath salts, and you say not for human consumption. But people know what it actually is, and you can go and buy it, and you're essentially buying like a sort of a designer drug. You're buying something that hasn't been classified, and they're really intense, and they have really bad profiles. Like if you look at like there's Arrowid.org that shows a lot of trip reports. And whatever the compound that they're calling, there's several different types, I think. I might be wrong about that. I don't think bath salts is necessarily just one thing. I think there's been more than one, but someone please on Twitter correct me if I'm wrong. So I think it's a problem of they can do that with several different drugs. I think they can do that with things that are illegal. Just change, if meth is illegal, change meth. If ecstasy is illegal, change it a little bit here. Change it a little bit, add a little bit here. And, they're doing it without any real research as to what kind of an effect these hardcore drugs are going to have in this sort of hybrid form. They're just letting people take this stuff, and people, I don't know how many people are taking it and losing their fucking mind, but a few people seem to be. It seems to be a good one. It seems to be one that's got quite a fucking kick.
MC Chris has a new song about taking bath salts, and it's awesome.
Did he do it? Did he actually take bath salts?
No. But it's just really addicting, and it's one of those songs. Once you hear it, you're just singing it all the time. It's like about doing bath salts and wanting to eat your face off. It's great.
Yeah, man.
Who does this?
But that
MC
dude,
Chris.
they said that
MC
dude,
Chris?
Yeah. He's
Is he funny? Is like a funny rapper?
Yeah.
Okay.
But they said that dude wasn't on bath salts. The guy that bit the guy's face off. They're saying now that he was on marijuana.
You haven't heard my bit
That's
about this,
hilarious.
have you?
Yeah.
That's like reefer madness
heard what?
propaganda.
That's
You
one
have
of my
a
new
bit
clean
about
bits
this?
about it. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Do you want to reveal it?
No.
Dude, that's way worse than reefer madness propaganda. They never said you'll eat someone's face, right? That's worse.
It's hilarious.
Back in the 30s, they were saying that if you smoked weed, you'd go crazy and shoot people.
Well, they didn't really have the capacity to test for this hidden metabolite. They tested for things that were known, and that's what the argument is against it. That they didn't. I don't know if that's correct either. By the way,
Bath salts are legal in Vegas, so if you want to maybe do it this weekend, guys.
is it legal in Vegas?
Yeah, if you
Oh,
guys wanna-
Jesus Christ! Wow, I hope they take care of that. I don't know what that is. That's a scary thing to me, though. And the fact that these people are breaking down medical marijuana dispensaries while they're selling bath salts, while other people rather are selling bath salts. What's so funny?
Brian just sent a picture. Where'd you get this picture?
Somebody on the message board.
Wow,
made
that
it.
was quick. me throwing up on some chick's pussy.
That's hilarious. What's the dude's name? Who is that?
Slain and Jectillo. Whatever. I don't know. Slain and
That's hilarious. That pic. I'm gonna tweet
way.
this pic real quick.
Wow, that's a hard word to,
Yeah,
to
Slain
spell.
and
That is
Jectillo.
hilarious.
That's a great pic.
That's
man.
hilarious. That's the internet for you, folks. The internet will always be on shit like that. That's awesome.
I'm about to tweet the picture so you know what we're talking about.
Yeah, I'll retweet it.
Look, did you see this girl with her nice muffler? It's like a
Yeah, Brian,
A
we're
snake.
doing a podcast right now, and you're looking at porn. You're getting distracted. If I was your boss, oh wait,
it's the message board.
yeah, don't be staring at
It's
pussy.
the corporate website,
Yeah,
Joe.
but that's headquarters. Dun, dun, dun.
Do you see Ted yet? Anyone?
No, I have not seen Ted yet, but I
No.
heard it's awesome. I heard it's one of the funniest movies of all time.
Really?
I heard it's hilarious.
I don't love it.
You didn't love it?
I never fell in love with it, but it was so great the whole time that I like it a lot. Meaning, there's nothing wrong with it. It's a great movie. I recommend it to everybody. But I never did the extra where, oh my god, I want to buy a Ted teddy bear now, and
Really?
freak out,
Come on.
buy Ted shirts.
You
and
don't want a
stuff.
teddy bear?
It never got to that level of just. It was pretty
You
good.
turning
Though.
into a 6-year-old?
That's
It was pretty good.
that's a fucking crazy level.
like teddy bear level.
Like I bet the sequel will be a million times better.
What are you talking about? Why would you say that? You're just spouting off crazy shit today.
No, I give it 4.5 stars,
Oh,
Out of five. Yeah.
Brian, that's pretty fucking good.
Yeah.
That sounds like an awesome movie.
but not 5.
well, Seth MacFarlane, I probably kept him off the podcast right there, you fuck. You probably think about it. It's like,
there was
who's
a couple parts.
Who's this asshole?
There's a couple parts that
Who's
was
this red band asshole?
weird. Like they remade a remake Like it was weird.
Oh,
It
I don't know what
didn't
it's about.
fit.
I'm gonna
Like,
check it out.
edited
Don't say
different,
anything.
maybe.
Don't say a word. You fuck.
I'm gonna add director's cut. I think it would be better.
Maybe it is a director's cut. Fuck do you know?
Maybe yeah.
Yeah, you don't know.
Yeah, there probably is. There's mushrooms in it.
Is he on cocaine today? Something's going on, right?
I don't know, man.
Lack of
It's
sleep.
animated.
Yeah.
Lack of sleep.
Lack of sleep. Is that
Been
what it is?
electrocuted. I've been
When was the last
That was
time?
weird
When
days
was the
ago.
last time we went to Olive Garden?
last Sunday.
Be honest.
Seriously, last Sunday.
Be honest.
Last Sunday.
All right. That's what you want to stick to the story?
And I went with somebody that's never been there before, and it was their first time, and they had prejudged.
I don't really
it.
want to talk about the Olive Garden, you guys. Are you fucking kidding me here? The fuck is wrong? We have a couple hours to do this. You gonna let this guy sit and talk about breadsticks?
How about them Dodgers?
Don't make me bring in Joey Diaz.
What the fuck, Olive Garden? Dude,
Why are you fucking
can
talking to him, Joe Rogan?
Did you see
can I
the
say
new
one
Joy
thing?
Karate?
Can I say one thing about the Olive Garden? It's kind of weird.
No.
They're combining Red Lobster and Olive Garden in test market cities, so you can actually choose between both menus. Isn't that cool? Because they're like going bankrupt, so they're
God
trying this
damn.
this
okay.
thing.
You haven't seen the new
Crazy.
Joy Karate?
No, I haven't seen it.
It's great, dude.
Is it?
He kills it.
Is he talking about the upcoming fights?
Fuck yeah.
Oh, pull it up.
All
pull
the
it
big
up.
ones. Put it on.
Where? How do you find it?
It's 10 Planet Kush, episode 25. 10 Planet Kush, episode 25.
This weekend's gonna be insane.
Dude,
Chael
he
Sonnen,
breaks
Anderson
it
Silva.
off. He
That
breaks it
rematch. That rematch is the biggest rematch of all time, in my opinion. As far as like fights that I want to see, this is, in my opinion, the biggest rematch of all time.
This is the
looking
greatest
forward to
fight of
this.
all time. Are you
Yeah,
kidding?
I'm so looking
Greatest
forward to
fights
this.
are rematches generally
39.
because there was something crazy.
What's that?
39, you said?
No, 10 Planet Kush 25.
25.
Joey crushes it.
Yeah, this is the biggest rematch ever, right?
Yeah, here it is. If you ain't following at Mad Flavor, go fuck yourself.
This is under Twister Eddie on YouTube, by the way. That's where I found it.
Got volume? It's gonna start right. There it is. It's good.
Boom! Greetings, cocksuckers. We're here, Burbank headquarters. It's 192 fucking degrees out there, but I'm giving you the preview for UFC 148. I'm giving you the parlay of the year. Everybody's complaining who's gonna win. Tito, Anderson, Chael. I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck. We're just trying to get paid, bitches, with a fucking parlay. First up, Chad Mendez. Who's he fighting, guys? What the fuck? What? Corey McKenzie, whatever it's fucking. Cody McKenzie against my man Chad Mendez, coming off a fucking knee in Brazil. Let me tell you something. If you get a knee in Connecticut and a knee in Brazil, two different fucking stories. He's coming back. He's going to beat up on McKenzie. That's one lock. My second lock is Damian Maia against Yum Yum Kim. Let me tell you something. Damian's dropping down to fucking 170. He's a jiu-jitsu maniac, but all of a sudden he wants to beat Muhammad Ali. He's going to go up against Young Kim, a black belt in judo, flipping motherfuckers like Carol Parisian before the fucking painkillers. Amazing, you understand me? He's going to get fucking Damian Maia at 170, and he's done. So that's my parlay. It's Yum Kim against Chad Mendez. You want to make money or you want to fucking play games with your other buddies? Now, you're saying, Joey, what about Tito against Forrest Griffin? 10 fucking psychics on the strip can't pick that one. You understand me? All I know is I'm watching some interview show with Tito. I love him to death. He's a Hall of Fame. And they're like, Tito, why are you quitting? Why the fuck is he quitting? He's 1-1-6. You understand me? It's time to go, cocksucker. That's all I can tell you. I love you to death. Congratulations, you and Forrest Whitaker. I love the fucking fight, but I wouldn't bet you motherfuckers at all. Another fight on the card is Kung Lee, the flying fucking master of kicks on Cinemax, versus the comeback, the leg. What's his name? Patrick fucking Cote fighting. I'll come back in the UFC, slip that one in. So you got Kung Lee against fucking Damian. Who's he fighting? Oh, he's fighting Patrick Cote, the one fucking legged man from Canada. And I'm going with Patrick Cote. That's a squeezer. Now you're going Joey. What about Chael? What about Anderson? I'm going to give it to you fucking straight and damn you, right? Chael Sonnen is a fucking champion. He took it to Anderson Silva, whatever. Anderson Silva's a fucking savage, all right? He worked at McDonald's. He was making Big Macs fucking 15 years ago. He's angry. He went down to Brazil. He thought about it. He hugged his 19 fucking kids. He's got a bus full of kids, Anderson. And he's back. He's going to Las Vegas this weekend. Let me tell you something. Chael, I love you to death, but it's all over the shot. And I don't care what the odds are. I don't care what fucking Kenny Florian says or John Anik. I don't give a fuck. This is going to be ugly. I'm going with my man Anderson Silva. to fucking take it to Chael. The last time he fought bad and he got him in the 5th fucking round, they got beat up. Can you imagine a healthy fucking Anderson Silva? Take your little fucking pennies, forget going to the strip club, put it on Anderson. You got the fucking Parlay, Mendez, and who else? What the fuck, people? Are you all sleeping here, cocksuckers? Yum Yum Kim against Cody McKenzie. What's the fucking parlay? Oh, Yum Yum Kim against my mad fucking Chad.
Yum Yum
That's the
Kim
parlay
is-
of the year. 10th planet. Take it from there.
Yum Yum Kim is not fighting Chad Mendez. Cody McKenzie's fighting Chad
He
Mendez.
fucked it all up.
Kush motherfuckers, right there.
Oh my God, he's so high. Well, our apologies to the great Dong Young Kim for Joey Diaz messing up his word, calling him Yum Yum Kim. That's kind of rude. How dare he?
I thought it was hilarious.
If I was him, I'd be pissed off.
I thought it was like people are calling him Yum Yum Kim now all over the internet.
What do you
now.
think about Damian Maia dropping down to 170?
He's going to be a big 170.
If he can do it, right? If he can do it and be healthy. For folks who don't know, you don't follow MMA, Damian Maia is this, one of the best jiu-jitsu guys to ever enter into MMA. He's a multiple-time world champion, just a really killer technical jiu-jitsu guy, and he entered into MMA, and for a while, he was strangling a lot of people, including Chael Sonnen. He got Chael Sonnen in a mounted triangle. Remember that shit?
Yeah.
Pulled him on?
Yeah.
He took him down. Remember that? What the fuck did he use? Was it a lateral drop? I think it was a lateral drop.
I think he
double
caught
overhooked him or
Chael
something.
off guard because Chael did not think he was going to take him down.
Didn't think he was going to try that move.
Yeah.
He lateral dropped him and then mounted triangled him. It was so sweet, man. It was like really the quickest I've ever seen Chael get submitted. It was like when he got taken down, it was like bang, whoop, oh shit, he's caught, tap. It was just his jiu-jitsu, Damian Maia, when he's on, when he catches you, is so picture perfect, man. He's such a beast. And if he's able to get a hold of guys at 170, he'll be even better. But it's about whether or not this is healthy.
And whether or not he could still take him down at 170. There's monsters
True.
like
Jake Shields.
there's guys that he's not going to be able to take down.
Yeah.
I think his jiu-jitsu, you make one mistake with Damian Maia, you're fucked.
Yeah.
He's a finisher. He knows how to close the deal. He catches you in a triangle. It's over, son. You're not escaping. He's totally professional when it comes to submissions. I just liked it better when he had more faith in his half guard because in early UFC days, he wouldn't hesitate to pull guard. He pulled guard. He actually pulled half guard. And there's a big difference between jumping guard, and pulling half guard. And he pulled half guard. He had a lot of faith in his half guard in the his early UFC fights, but he likes to stand more now, and he has totally made a conscious decision not to pull guard, not to have that as an option. And I think he should reconsider that option and look at what Paul Sass is doing. When Paul Sass fights, he's completely taken the dude's wrestling and striking out of the mix, because if Paul Sass is fighting a combo fighter who's a world champion kickboxer, killing in K1, and he's a Olympian wrestler, to him, he's going to pull guard anyway, so he takes those two skill sets out of the picture. I'm not saying that you should just go out there and pull guard like Paul Sass.
But if you have a guard like Paul Sass, you should pull guard.
Yeah, and Damian Maia does have a guard like Paul Sass. He does. He has a very dangerous guard. Damian Maia's guard is amazing. He just is chosen not to have that as an option anymore, and I think I always call it the third option, and it should be an option in your game. What do you think keeps him from it? Do you think the getting hit on the ground? I think a lot of people think that they say that they don't work on their guard techniques or their half guard. They don't refine it because in MMA, when you're on your back, you're losing. That's like the thing to say about that. And professional fighters, a lot of them think this way, that if you're on your back, you're losing. Yes, but you're also losing if you're on your feet getting tattooed with punches. You're also losing there. So what's the difference if you're losing on your feet and losing on the ground? At least if you have a really good half guard game, you have a really good full guard game, you have a really dangerous rubber guard. If you got a lot of heat off your back, there is a way for you to win off your back, instead of, oh, I'm on my back, I'm losing, there's no hope. If Aoki's on his back, there is hope for him. Well, you remember when Jason Day fought Alan Belcher and just held him in rubber guard and elbowed him? Yeah, you could just do that. Silly. You could just hold a dude in mission control and throw elbows. It's been proven, that it's very effective. It's out there. The evidence is there, but just,
Well, you just got to get wicked good at it. I mean, like a guy who's going to pull it off is a guy like Vinny Magalhaes. He's going to be able to pull it off.
Yeah.
You know, and
if he could get the fight to the ground,
Yes.
because Vinny is not the greatest wrestler on the planet, and he's not the greatest striker on the planet. He is improving both vastly. He's working on it, and he has accepted. I talked to him personally. He has accepted that he will pull guard if he can't take the guy down. Because there's only 3 things you can do in a fight, and I've said this many times. There's only 3 things. You could stand with a guy, you could try to take a guy down, or you can pull guard. That's it. There's no other way to fight. You fight on your feet, you fight, you try to take him down, or you pull guard. Most people only have 2 options. If they can't take the guy down, they better be able to beat him standing, or they lost. Just like that. They lost.
I wish that the cutting weight was not in the equation. It bothers me.
But this is what I'm talking about. Has nothing to do with weight. What I'm talking about is having the option.
Having strategies.
3 ways.
Yeah.
3 ways to win it. Most fighters only have 2 ways. I think the fighter of the future is going to have 3 ways to win. He's going to be a serious striker and can fucking knock you out. But if shit ain't going right standing, he can take you down because he has Olympics.
John Jones.
Yeah, wrestling. Or if he can't take you down, or if you can't take your opponent down and he's beating you standing, if you have a wicked guard, you have the option to pull guard, like Paul Sassy.
Yeah.
He wins all his fights by pulling guard. It's his first option. I don't agree that it should be your first option all the time. I think I would want my fighters to get as good as possible with their striking and their wrestling. If you could take a guy down, don't fucking pull guard. Take his ass down. If you could beat him standing, don't take him down. Keep standing with him. You own this guy. But if my fighter is getting owned standing and he can't take the guy down, you have to pull guard. That's the only thing you can do.
Right.
And the guys that are
That's not an easy thing to pull off.
it's not easy. You just don't sit. I'm not talking about
Especially
just
with a guy like Paul Sass's opponents, they know what he's looking to do.
Pulling guard has become very complex. You got to understand the difference between jumping guard. Jumping guard is when you're against the fence, like Stefan Struve did. He had his back against the fence, so it was really easy. Because he was being pinned on the fence, really easy to just jump up and go koala on him. He jumped guard, pulled him down, and went right to an armbar. It works. There's an option. There's a way out. Anytime you're on your back in a fight, all fighters out there, anytime you've been on your back and had a guy in full guard, you actually had an opportunity to beat that guy right there. That's it's not, don't look at that.
If you have a wicked Paul Sass type guard.
Vinny Magalhaes guard.
Yeah.
Shinya Aoki guard. There's only a few people who've really taken the time to master fighting off your back, because most fighters coming in, they listen to their instructors, and the instructors say, oh, if you're on your back, you're losing.
Well, especially if you get on your back with a fucking big wrestler that you can't hold on to, like a Jake Ellenberger type character.
Yeah.
It's going to ground and pound your fucking face off. That's a scary spot to be. You know,
Definitely.
trapped
You
under
have
a
to
wrestler.
have, it's not that scary if you're Vinny Magalhaes. He wants you to be on top and start being aggressive and start punching.
Or Fabricio Verdum.
Exactly.
Fabricio Verdum, like Ryan Parsons was talking about when they train ground and pound with Fabricio, it's like none of this stuff works on him. His guard is so good.
Yeah.
He's always like feet on your hips and feet on your shoulders. He's always touching you and moving you.
The one-dimensional fighter, we already know they're gone. They're gone.
Yeah.
They're all retired already, one-dimensional. And then you got like two-dimensional fighters. There's guys that can have pretty good stand-up, and they're good wrestlers. Jiu-jitsu ain't that good. Those guys aren't going to last either. You have to be really good at all aspects of the game. Striking, wrestling, top game jiu-jitsu, and bottom game jiu-jitsu. You have to be good at all those levels, I think, in the future. Right now, it's not a popular view in the MMA world to really focus and polish up your bottom game. That's not a thing you want to do, because that's like admitting you already lost. That's like admitting that your wrestling is not going to be good enough, admitting that you're not a fucking fierce striker, admitting that you're afraid to stand and strike with someone. That's what a lot of guys want to go out there. And there's jiu-jitsu guys, and there's a bunch of them. I don't want to name names, but a lot of guys go out there, they're jiu-jitsu world champions, and they want to stand and trade. They want to be kickboxers now, and
it's kind of weird, isn't it?
Yeah, there's a lot of them. And I think this is my experience. I think that to get over that, most jiu-jitsu fighters, a lot of them generally have a fear of doing stand-up because they're not that good at it. It's not their sport. Now they're thrust into a kickboxing sport where they're not that good. They spent their whole life on the ground. So there is an element of fear because you can get knocked the fuck out. So to conquer that fear and to fucking stand with professional strikers and get some fucking licks in and take their best shots, I can see that empowering them and making them feel like a fierce warrior where they're like, fuck pulling guard. This is awesome. I'm actually standing with professional strikers, taking their shit and knocking dudes out every now and then. Fuck yeah, I'm standing. I can see them, really liking that rush, that feeling, I conquered fear, you know what I mean? And it feels good, like they don't give a fuck about getting hit. I think it makes them feel good. It's not the best strategy to win a fight, but for their own personal empowerment, and I'm sure it's glorious. I can see that. When George Georgel goes out there, he's a black belt in jiu-jitsu. He fucking loves the trade. He loves that shit. Yeah. It makes him feel like a fucking savage, I can see that. I'm like, okay, I understand. It fucking feels
he seems like he's having a good time.
Because that takes a lot of balls and to actually do it, it's like base jumping,
It's just, you can only do that for so long. You can only take so much. It's not an unlimited resource.
So back to Damian Maia, I think if you're listening out there, I loved it when you used to pull half guard. If you could take the guy down, stay on top.
Well, who knows,
but if
man?
it's not happening,
maybe he's going to be healthy and fast at 170. Maybe 170 will make him faster.
Vinny said he will not hesitate pulling guard if he can't take the guy down. He'll always try to take the guy down, but if he can't, he won't hesitate. And that gives him a lot of confidence. He talks to me and that gives him confidence. Like, one way or the other, I'm going to drag the fight to the ground and bring them into my world. No longer is he going to pretend to be a kickboxer. That's what he told me.
Did you see Brian Ebersol's fight with TJ Wahlberger?
Yes.
Dude,
yes.
Brian Ebersol is hard to choke, man. That guy's weird.
Even though TJ Wahlberger lost, I think he has a lot of potential, and he looked great on his back. He just needs to tighten up a lot of shit and keep going and keep polishing his game, but his guard looked dangerous as hell.
Ebersol is really hard to tap. There's something going on with that guy, man. Because, he talks about, the myth of the guillotine. Like, people can't tap him with the guillotine. I don't know what his deal is, man.
He might have large aortas in his neck or something.
Yeah, or maybe he's just been grappling for so long that he could just fight that shit off. Maybe he knows how to fight that shit off, but he doesn't tap the guillotines, he says. He says guillotines are a myth.
I wonder if
he's a freak, man.
I think Marcelo can tap him though.
I bet, right?
Go to Marcelo's, he'll guillotine you. Because Marcelo's guillotine, the Marcellitine, I think it's the best choke in the game. It's proven. The research is out there. If you really want to find the best choke in the game, you should know as many chokes as possible. But the best one, for sure, the research, the evidence, it's all out there. The Marcellitine, the way Marcelo does his guillotine, study that shit.
What is the main difference?
He's not choking you. It's not like a blood choke. He's smashing your throat. So you tap real quick. They're really quick taps. Because if you get a guy in an arm in guillotine, you might have to crank it maybe 15, 20 seconds, maybe 30 seconds. You're twisting, maybe 35 seconds. Bam, he finally gives up and taps.
Right.
The Marcellitine comes in a flash. Your throat gets smashed and you start tapping.
Really?
It's a different kind of guillotine. It's the most effective guillotine out there by far.
Does it put guys to sleep still, even though it's smashing the throat, or is it just all pain?
From my experience, people are just tapping from the pain.
Huh. Some guys.
But it is kind of a choke where you can't breathe.
Right.
Your throat's being smashed. You can't breathe. You got to tap quick. So if you can't breathe because your throat is getting blocked, do you fall asleep? Maybe you still fall asleep.
I don't know. Yeah, I've never seen a guy who I've been more impressed with his choke defense than Ebersol. He's crazy.
Yeah.
He doesn't even seem uncomfortable. He just his head gets all red and he guts it out and then he's on top throwing bombs. It seems like he's really hard to choke.
Yeah, he's a warrior, man.
Tough fucking dude, man.
I'm a big fan of Brian Ebersol.
And a guy who's not afraid of getting choked like that, he can put himself into all kinds of weird situations. It's very strange.
I'm a fan of anybody who has the balls to just do a cartwheel kick.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
Nails people.
Come on,
this is the kick that people thought it was a fake fight. He got in a situation where the commission people thought that he had a fake fight, like it was pro wrestling. Like they didn't believe that you could actually kick somebody like that.
That's crazy.
That shit has a lot of power. That's like a wheel kick, axe kick. And more powerful than that, really, because it's got gravity going in its favor.
That? What kind of kick? What's it called?
It's a cartwheel kick.
Cartwheel kick.
Yeah, that's what Steve Jenham was it? Harold Howard tried it on Steve Jenham. Yeah. Remember that shit? He came
UFC 3.
Was it 3?
Yeah.
Came out and cartwheel kicked. It was a legit technique in karate point fighting and different, I think that was probably the root of it. It was karate, I think, was the root of it. But it fucking works, man. If you learn how to do it right, you could nail somebody. And Ebersol's knocked guys out with it. He tried it. He tried it on TJ. He's a wild motherfucker. He's gonna fight again in Calgary. They just added him on to that card, I think. So he'll be fighting like just a few weeks after his last fight.
What do you think about Tito Forrest?
I think it's good when guys are they've had great careers and they're probably close to the end of those great careers and they're fighting each other. I like that. What gets me concerned is when I see like one of these guys that's been in the game a long time, he's a legend of the game, and he's fighting like a top young lion. That I always feel like, ooh, I don't want to see
I like
this.
those too.
Do you like those?
Yeah, because it's like a Rocky story. If you could pull it off. Remember Rocky was 65 when he came back?
Yes, but there's some guys that they cross a threshold where you don't want to see them get hurt. Like they cross the threshold where you see them get laid out a couple of times, and you're like, all right, I'm not really into seeing this dude get hurt any further. Especially by some young killer. You see some young dude who just has lightning fast strikes and just comes in and lights him up.
What do you think about Yum Kim and
Dong Young
and Damian
Dong
Maia?
Young Kim?
What do you think?
I think Kim is getting really good with his kickboxing. His movement on his feet is way better. Dong Young Kim.
Okay.
He's got who did he rock? He rocked somebody with a jumping front kick to the face.
Yeah.
And then finished him off. Who the fuck was that?
I don't remember. But Damian Maia's striking is getting better as well.
It is.
He's,
Yeah, it is
He's not
definitely.
afraid to throw down.
Well, he,
his striking's pretty decent.
He hurt Mark Munoz. He tagged Mark Munoz. I think he really surprised the shit out of him.
There's a couple Brazilians that are turning into legit strikers. Damian Maia and Fabrício Werdum.
Yes. Yeah. Fabricio Verdum.
It's crazy
looks
watching
awesome.
guys blossom, right?
Yeah, he's got Fabricio Verdum's got like a real kickboxing game now. Throws nasty knees, leg kicks. He caught that dude with an uppercut, a clean uppercut. He's a dangerous guy. That's a big dude, man. When you stand next to Fabricio Verdum, his fucking feet are like that big. His hands are big. That's a real heavyweight. He's that motherfucking handful.
You know who
man.
impressed the fuck out of me? Charles Oliveira, man. God
Oh, yeah.
damn.
Yeah, absolutely.
That is a true savage right there.
Sean Pearson was the guy that Dong Young Kim hit with a jumping front kick in the face. And Sean Pearson's fucking good, man. And, he's got a victory over Nate Diaz. He's got a victory over Amir Sadala. He's fucking good, man. Dong Young Kim is good. He's no joke. And he's not scared to go to the ground either. He's strong as fuck. He's a really good judo guy.
Yeah.
Real good defense. So
Could
this
be
could
a
be
decision,
interesting.
right?
It could be, or it could be a submission, man. It could be a submission. They could go to the ground, and Damian Maia might just lock him up. At 170, if he can come in healthy, if he weighs like a healthy 185, 190 or something come fight time, that's going to be weird to see. But how old is Damian? He's probably in his mid-30s?
Probably.
32, 33,
Yeah,
something like that. I should find out before I talk about that, because that has an effect also on cutting a big amount of weight this late in your career.
It's going to be interesting to see what he looks like at 70.
I'm sure he's a smart guy, though. If he's doing anything, I'm sure that he's doing it the right way. 34. If he's doing anything, he spends a lot of time training with a lot of wrestlers, and I'm sure they're going to give him like the exact right way to do it. And he's such a bright guy. I would assume that he would absolutely do it the correct way, and he would must have made some test runs. But I have split feelings on shit like that, man. I just think it's so unhealthy. When dudes cut a shitload of weight, it's just like, man, I don't think you should cut that much weight. It's so crazy. It just seems so unhealthy. It seems like there's a point of diminishing return that a lot of guys cross over. I think you get to around like 8, 10 pounds, 5 pounds, something like that. That's nothing. That's good. That's fine. That's fine. It's barely even going to hurt you. You're going to be fine. You go back, you refuel. But when dudes are cutting 25, 30 pounds, like they're Anthony Johnson in it, they're coming in like weighing almost 200 pounds and they're fighting at 170, that's kind of crazy. It's weird. It's like, how do you stop that though? How do you tell people that they can't do that anymore?
Well, if you can make it, then that's your spot.
Yeah.
That's where you should be. If you can make it, that's your spot.
I know, but what a weird way to do business. Like everybody has to almost kill themselves the day before we're going to fight.
Yeah.
Everybody has to literally starve to the point where you're really unhealthy. You look terrible. There's a lot of guys that step on the scale 24 hours before a big fight, and they don't look good at all. You know, it's crazy.
Who knows that more than you?
Yeah, or there's guys like BJ Penn who would choose to fight at 170, and he doesn't even really weigh 170. He would weigh like 166. You know, when BJ fought like Matt Hughes, I think he was like 166. He's been as low as like 164, and he's fighting welterweights. You know, there's that way to do it too. I mean, Frankie Edgar won the lightweight title, you know, that way by being a real 155-pound dude fighting dudes who were, you know, probably like 175 maybe come
85.
fight time. Maybe even, yeah. I mean, Gray Maynard's a big dude. He's thick as fuck, man. You know, I don't know how much Gray cuts, but he looks big.
He gets to be 230 during off season.
No. Didn't Mike Goldberg say he gets to like 200 or something though? He's been 200?
Probably. Like Joe Stevenson used to
big,
hover around 200 for a while, and he'd cut down to 55. Same thing with Chris Brennan.
Did you see Joe Stevenson? He left the UFC and he just lost to that dude, Dakota Cochran, the guy who had been in, he had like some sort of a career in gay porn.
He fought Joe Stevenson?
Yeah.
Like undercard?
You don't know this whole thing about Tough?
I don't know this.
Yeah, he was on The Ultimate Fighter, and he had he needed some money in his past, so he did some gay porn, and they let him on the show.
Okay.
And I thought that was cool. I was like, you know, like,
Fantastic.
all right, you know, like, why not, man? Let the kid on the show. Why wouldn't you let him on the show? Isn't the show all about like trying to get your shit together? I mean, how many of the guys that are on the show have been in jail? How many of the guys on the show have been in jail for assault? Has it been any? I don't know. It might not have been any. They probably wouldn't allow you to, right? They'd probably like make sure that they didn't get responsible for anybody that was dangerous. I don't even know the answer to that question. But so the dude had a little problem in his past. It's in the past now. Unfortunately, there's a video of it, and they let him on the show. Oh, I think that's cool. But he didn't make it, and he lost. But he's good, man. He's fucking good. He's real good.
He beat Joe
He
Stevenson.
fucked Joe Daddy up, dude. Fucked Joe Daddy up standing, then caught him on the ground and got him in the rear naked and finished him.
Wow.
Dude, and he had his back a couple of times. He fucked Joe up, man. He's good. He's good. He's explosive. He's really fast.
Who did he lose to on The Ultimate Fighter?
I don't know.
Bert Kreischer.
He may have gotten hurt, I think.
Did he? I think you're right.
So, yeah.
I think you're right.
Maybe. This
I don't
last
know.
season, right?
Yeah.
Because I saw the last season. It's good.
Yeah. I don't know what the fuck happened to him.
Silva
look it up.
Sonnen.
We should look it up.
Bert Kreischer's new show starts tonight at 9.
We're talking about MMA, son.
Trip Flip. He's watching right now. He says hi.
He's a sweetie. Here it is. I'm trying to find out. What about Silva Sunday? What do you think? What do you think's gonna go down?
I mean, anything could happen, really. We can see the exact same fight again, and this time Sonnen pulls it off and stays out of trouble. Or maybe Anderson Silva's got to the point where he's really hard to take down now, and Sonnen's having a hard time taking him down. Maybe he takes him down once or twice, but it's the third round, and he's having a hard time. He's forced to strike with Silva, and Silva takes him apart. Or we could see Sonnen hurting Silva standing and then going right through him. Anything could fucking happen. You just don't know. You know, who knows? Maybe Sonnen takes Silva down immediately, and Silva comes after him with an incredible guard. He just, instead of like being cautious like he was in his last fight, and he threw that triangle up in the 5th round, like go after him right away. We might see that, and he might fucking tap him in a triangle in 30 seconds. Anything could happen. It's who the fuck knows?
This Dakota Cochran dude, he came in as a late replacement against Jamie Varner and dominated Jamie Varner at Titan Fighting Championships. I guess he won a decision over him there, and then he lost on the Ultimate Fighter to some dude named James Vick. He lost to Vick via split decision. And this is his Wikipedia. He performed in 16 videos under the stage name Danny. He fully disclosed this information to the UFC. So the UFC said, all right, whatever. They're probably loving it just for the interesting angle. But the dude can fight. Forget about all that. He can fight his ass off.
And
He beat Jamie Varner and he beat Joe
If
Stevenson.
he blows up, there's gonna be, you know how there's sections when an Armenian fighter fights, there's a section and there's all Armenians. You
Right.
know what I mean? There's gonna be gay sections.
Probably, man.
That'd be awesome, dude.
I think the dude is straight though. He only did it for money.
Oh, come on.
Well, that's what he says. You don't
But
think
for
that's
sure
possible?
he has a big gay following. For sure.
For sure.
And dude, What if they show up in droves? That would be awesome.
Right. What if gay dudes start entering into fighting? Start
Yeah, that'd
fucking
be cool.
dudes up. Yeah.
You know what?
Because
They might have more anger than your average dude.
Yeah.
All that shit.
Well,
growing
also,
up.
it might be a real mind fuck for a straight dude to get beat up by a gay guy. Like, that might be a mind fuck. Like, not only does this guy beat my ass, he could fuck me, and he might want to.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, maybe that would work for him, you know? For a lot of dudes, it probably would. For a lot of dudes, it probably would. You know? When he gets your back, that's real.
Yeah, there's got to be a style. There's got to be a style out there specifically for anal rape. You know what I mean?
That's jujitsu for sure. Right?
You'd have to have a base in jiu-jitsu, but it'd get technical because you'd have to pin the arms a certain way, pin his knees a certain way to get penetration. It's totally different drills.
It's hard to hold them in place.
Yeah, that would be. But it could be like cop tactics, like police tactics, where there's jiu-jitsu in there, but they got the baton, they got something else going on. They got to handcuff them.
So
I think maybe you have to handcuff them first. You have to handcuffs have to be
Let's
part
not
of your
give
style.
anybody any ideas. That just seems like a rude
That's the easiest way, right?
A
Handcuffs
rude
are just
thing
so
to
easy.
do to a person. Why even bring that up? What a terrible thing to do to a person. That's definitely not using martial arts for good.
Yes, you're right. I fucked up. I'm sorry.
Have you seen this thing? I'm going to change gears completely about these things that they found, these portals in the universe, these hidden portals between the Earth and the Sun. They're totally confused, but they're some sort of a guide door, a shortcut, and there's an opening in the space or time field.
Is this legit?
Yep. Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Tweet that shit.
Yeah, it's NASA. It's a NASA-funded researcher and plasma physicist Jack Scudder of the University of Iowa claims he has figured out a way to find them, and they're called X points or electron diffusion regions. And so there's the idea is that there's pathways in our galaxy. That our galaxy isn't just. It's not just like you have to go from here to there. No, you can actually go in this thing, and it might take you somewhere else. like a real wormhole. Can you imagine if we find out that wormholes are just like tunnels that just exist all over the place, and you know how you could just drive through the tunnel? Well, you can just go through the wormhole, and that's what you do. Whoop, and you're on the other side.
Yeah, man. How about that? Have you seen a documentary?
That was the ultimate stoner response.
Yeah,
man.
Jim Morrison did it. Well, I can do it
have you
too.
seen? Do you know anything about the Coral Castle in Florida?
Yes, I do.
Dude,
yeah,
that's
that dude who
insane
made
shit.
some crazy castle.
Yeah.
Brian, pull this up because I don't understand the science of it, and I'm sure I'm butchering it. It's NASA discovers hidden portals in space, and put that. It's on YouTube, and it'll explain it.
What's it called?
NASA discovers hidden portals in space, and it's on YouTube. So it'll explain better what they mean by portals. But the way I'm saying it, I'm sure I'm fucking it up, but in my rudimentary understanding of it, it means that the universe is not just one flat sort of. It's not the same everywhere. There's little pathways and shit. There's things that exist that not just black holes, but other things that will take you through to somewhere else, which is kind of nuts. I mean, someday, some future generation of ours might be able to actually traverse something like that. I mean, it's really crazy to wrap your head around that we might figure out one day how to navigate through the universe and fucking go through an actual portal into another place. And it's hard to wrap your head around.
Yeah, man. I mean, just basic shit like the Earth's magnetic field, and that there's certain points on the planet where there's hyper magnetic activity.
Presented by Science at NASA.
That guy sounds like he gets no pussy.
A favorite theme of science fiction is the portal, an extraordinary opening in space or time that connects travelers to distant realms. A good portal is a shortcut, a guide, a door into the unknown. If only they actually existed. It turns out that they do, sort of. And a NASA-funded researcher at the University of Iowa has figured out how to find them. We call them X points, or electron diffusion regions, explains plasma physicist Jack Scudder of the University of Iowa. They're places where the magnetic field of Earth connects to the magnetic field of the Sun, creating an uninterrupted path leading from our own planet to the Sun's atmosphere 93 million miles away. Observations by NASA's Themis spacecraft and Europe's cluster probes suggest that these magnetic portals open and close dozens of times each day. They're typically located a few tens of thousands of kilometers from Earth, where the geomagnetic field meets the onrushing solar wind. Most portals are small and short-lived. Others are yawning, vast, and sustained. Energetic particles can flow through the openings, heating Earth's upper atmosphere, sparking geomagnetic storms, and igniting bright polar auroras. NASA is planning a mission called MMS, short for Magnetospheric Multiscale Mission, due to launch in 2014 to study the phenomenon. Bristling with energetic particle detectors and magnetic sensors, the 4 spacecraft of MMS will spread out in Earth's magnetosphere and surround the portals to observe how they work. Whoa. Just one problem: finding them. Magnetic portals are invisible, unstable, and elusive. They open and close without warning, and there are no signposts to guide us in, notes Scudder. Actually, there are signposts, and Scudder has found them. Portals form via the process of magnetic reconnection. Mingling lines of magnetic force from the Sun and Earth crisscross and join to create the openings. X-points are where the crisscross takes place. The sudden joining of magnetic fields can propel jets of charged particles from the X-point, creating an electron diffusion region. To learn how to pinpoint these events, Scudder looked at data from a space probe that orbited Earth more than 10 years ago. In the late 1990s, NASA's Polar spacecraft spent years in Earth's magnetosphere, explains Scudder, and it encountered many X-points during its mission. Because Polar carried sensors similar to those of MMS, Scudder decided to see how an X-point looked to Polar. Using Polar data, we have found 5 simple combinations of magnetic field and energetic particle measurements that tell us when we've come across an X-point or an electron diffusion region. A single spacecraft, properly instrumented, can make these measurements. This means that a single member of the MMS constellation, using the diagnostics, can find a portal and alert other members of the constellation. Mission planners long thought that MMS might have to...
If you want to hear the whole thing, go online and
NASA.gov.
check it out, because I'm sure most of us are not absorbing that. We're going to have to go back and listen to that and read the paperwork on it. But that sounds fucking crazy. Finding new things like that in space is like weird. It's so weird. It's like the idea that we already figured out what was out there. Oh, there's some new shit. Oh, here's some invisible magnetic portal. Oops. Here's some new shit. Did you hear about this new civilization they discovered that lived 8,500 years ago, somewhere near Spain? They found it underwater. They have like pottery, all kinds of shit. Apparently, this area used to be above ground, like and somewhere between 11,000 and 6,000 years ago. It slowly sank away, and they've recovered like human bones and pottery. It seems like every other month there's some new groundbreaking discovery that pushes back the date of civilization. It's amazing, you know. This Gobekli Tepe was like the first big one, and now they're always finding, like, they found these concentric rings in the ocean floor that they believe is Atlantis, and I think that's somewhere around Spain. You know, there's all sorts of speculation that there might have been a fuckload of civilizations that were like really, you know, pretty advanced for the time, and they were living right by the water, and they're gone now. The water level changed.
What do you think about that Baltic Sea saucer? You think it's just a rock?
I'm pretty sure it's a rock. Yeah.
Have you looked into it?
Yeah, I haven't seen any photos that make me think it's anything other than weird rocks.
Did you hear about the divers going down there and trying to fuck with it? And
yeah, the power shuts off
twice.
Yeah, it could be their equipment sucks at high depth. You know, it could be the pressure of the equipment. Just the equipment failed. Sometimes people look for shit to be like something crafty. I would love it if it was something crafty. But I saw the pictures, and I'm like, that shit looks like rocks, man. They're like, well, there's a pearl necklace of, it's like scattered rocks. Like, you guys are like reaching. Like, this is just rocks. I mean, maybe when you're down there looking at it eye to eye, it looks different. And maybe there's some shit that they haven't been able to photograph yet, that once you see it, you go, oh, whoa, 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 whoa. This is a fucking, somebody made this. Maybe. It's possible. But most of the time, I think there's plenty of shit out there that they could be looking at. You
think the scientists are faking their enthusiasm? They're like, way.
No, they're enthusiastic. Doesn't mean, you know. I don't know. You know, I don't know. I don't know if they're looking to see something. I don't know if what they can actually see is much cooler than the shit that they've shown us. The shit that they've shown us is like you see like this big rock, and I don't know why we're supposed to think that's special. You know, but rocks sometimes form in weird forms. You know, Graham Hancock said it's just a rock. That's what his assessment of it was.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
It says a peculiar rock. That's what he believes it is. But, you know, this is just the beginning of data. No one knows but the people who are down there staring at it. You know, it might be some aliens versus predator fucking temple, and we just, you know,
Or just
we're
some
getting
old
cocky.
civilization that used to be above water.
Could be, yeah. Could
Part
be
of it,
easy.
you know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, how much would be left of something if it was under the water from 30,000 years under the ocean? How much of that shit gets jacked?
Maybe it's like part of some Russian experiment or something.
Yeah. Maybe it's a troll. It's a big troll. Like,
No. I mean, like some vessel that the Russians were fucking with like 30 years ago. And
I don't think so. I think they're saying it's a stone. It's a stone structure, whatever it is, natural structure, whatever it is.
Okay.
I believe they're saying it's stone. I think there's just some peculiar like pathways in it and stuff like that. But it could be just some weird ass stones.
I haven't
Have you
looked
seen anything,
that
Brian?
into it.
No.
I just saw like maybe a 5-minute news clip on the latest dive, and they said they went down, all the power goes off. They
Right.
came up, then they went back.
It sounds
twice.
awesome.
Yeah.
If I was going to write a script, that's what I would write. If it was like,
And like one of the guys was the biggest skeptic, now he can't explain it. He doesn't
Really?
want to make a statement, but he's saying this is not normal.
What is the latest? When was the last time you?
It was a
found this?
news report. Yeah, look at it. It's this Baltic UFO news report.
Yeah, what's interesting is it's so sexy to want to think that this is from some other planet. You know, it's so intriguing. If we really imagine if we really found a fucking ship at the bottom of the ocean, and it was just dressed up like a rock. Because that's what you would do. If you wanted to hide your ship, you make it look like a fucking rock. I mean, they're aliens. They can come here from another planet,
Yeah.
but it has to look like a ship. That's so stupid. Maybe they made a fucking alien spacecraft that looks like rocks. So when it's on the bottom, it's just chilling like a rock. Of course, they should be able to alter their environment or the way they look to their environment. So maybe that's what it is. I would love that. That's the best thing. That would be the most fun news story. That would change the world. But I'm not convinced. New dive details, photos. See, there's a few
Look for the
places.
news story.
Yeah, there's some photos that
Brian, can you find it so I
that
can
show
see
the
it?
rocks. Well,
It's like a BBC thing, maybe.
yeah. I mean, it shows. It's interesting, man. It's you know, hopefully it's something, but it might be bullshit. It might totally be a natural thing.
Totally.
Their equipment might suck,
Who knows?
but like I said, it's sexy to think that it's not. The whole idea of UFOs is the sexiest idea ever. That there's actually going to be something. You would forget your bills, forget what the fuck is on TV, even if it was like the final season premiere of the Game of Thrones, you know?
Yeah.
The last season, first episode, you know, final season premiere of the game. I still would take seeing a UFO.
Remember, if I remember correctly, and I could be wrong about David Icke, like in the beginning of his career as being like a dude who lectures on Illuminati type stuff, he said some shit about reptilians, and then a lot of people turned him off. They're like, "Fuck, David Icke is that reptilian guy. He loses me when he talks about reptilians." So then it seemed like he stopped talking about reptilians for a while. But recently, I just saw this seminar he did, and he gets in depth about reptilians. He says that all the world leaders are being controlled. This David Icke, I just saw this last week, are being controlled by reptilians that are on a different frequency, and they're around them controlling them. You just can't see them. They're actually controlling the world leaders. That's what he thinks, and he's talking about this in his lecture.
It's amazing. It's amazing that he can do this.
Yeah.
I think he's an entertainer. That's what I think. I think
crazy.
part of what he does is he's an entertainer.
Yeah.
I think he's a lot like there's a few other guys that I don't buy it for a second. He's one of them. I think he's got some really good, valid information that he mixes in with some crazy shit, and he creates like a whole cottage industry. That's what I think. This whole
And Alex
reptilian thing.
Jones was totally against David Icke for a while because of the reptilian thing.
Yeah.
Totally against him. And then he actually became friends with David Icke, and he doesn't really want to get into it, but he says that the reptilian thing makes more sense to him now and they're cool now. They hated each other. They used to talk shit on each
that's
other.
hilarious.
Now, now they're cool. They've been
Well,
cool for a while, though. I'm
Alex
sure.
Jones is a big sweetie.
Yeah.
That's the reality. The reality is Alex Jones is always a big sweetie.
Yeah. He's one of the coolest
really nice
fuckers to
guy.
hang out with.
He's
Come
a
on.
really nice guy. People would never believe it if you watch his doom and gloom.
Yeah. You know how crazy is it that we've partied with him in Vegas
yeah.
and got hammered with him?
Hammered. We had a great time with him.
Yeah.
He's an awesome guy.
Yeah, and
he
he-
is not a bad dude,
Yeah.
man. He just gets all worked up.
Yeah, and he loves talking. Even when the cameras are
yeah.
off, he can talk all that conspiracy talk
dude.
non-stop,
Non-stop.
24 hours. He
Yeah.
never gets tired of it. I love hearing it. I got Alex Jones sitting next to me at
Yeah.
Wolfgang Puck.
Well,
We're
he's
having-
Illuminati with,
Yeah.
with the situation. He was brought in by Kennedy in the 60s. 1961, Operation Thundercat.
He'll come up with, he'll fucking hit you with some shit, and you're like, what? But a lot of what he's saying is right. That's
Hell
what's
yeah,
really
I love
scary.
Alex Jones, man. I love his shit. You can't be right all the time. Everyone's wrong, and sometimes he's wrong about shit. You don't discount all the fucking beautiful info that he has. And
He goes
uncovered.
after it.
Yeah, he's gonna miss a lot. If you're gonna judge someone on being wrong about this or that because he was wrong about Y2K, you can't. Everyone's wrong about some shit. You can't be right about everything.
Well, it's the doom and gloom, guys. There's a certain amount of entertainment to it. You gotta recognize that much like Fox News has committed itself to being conservative, he has committed himself to a doom and gloom. And to a certain extent, that's the problem that I had with Rupert Murdoch. And not Rupert Murdoch. What? I don't know Rupert Murdoch. Michael Rupert. When Michael Rupert was on the show, and he would alternate between thinking that it was going to be the end of the world or thinking that people were going to pull it together. And I think that you can get caught up in thinking that everything's gonna fucking fall apart. You can get caught up in that. It's real easy. It's real easy to just decide it's all coming to an end. It's easy to do, And I think you get caught up in that the whole world is corrupt and there's doom and gloom everywhere, and you get caught up in that whole Alex Jones conspiracy mentality. And
a lot of it's fucking real, man.
Yeah, it's true.
We don't live in a society where the government is all about the people. We don't, whether you want to believe it or not. The way I look at it is, I'm not going to go out there and picket shit. Who knows? Maybe I'll change my mind if something happens that affects me personally. Maybe I'll be out there with a picket. But one thing we can all do is we can all use Twitter or Facebook just to make people aware. I think if everybody is aware. And that's just from Twitter and from Facebook. If they're aware of what's going on, I think slowly we change.
Yeah.
Because I really think that, there is light at the end of the tunnel from all these conspiracy theories and all that shit. I think that there is hope that if everybody was aware, and today more than any other time in history, more people are aware that the government is fucking them than ever before because of the internet. So I just think let's just keep making people aware. Just keep pounding them over the head with the information. Look at the studies. Look at this. Look what they're doing. And if some people just do not want to believe that the government doesn't have our best interest, they don't want to believe that.
They get angry if you bring it up.
You don't have any proof. That's not proof. There's 1,500 engineers and architects that are band together. They've gone out of their way banding together saying, dude, Tower 7 was demoed. I mean, they're banding together. And when people say, you know how many architects there are? There's fucking hundreds of thousands. So 1,500 got together? You know what I mean? If 1,500 architects got together and petitioned and said, this house is condemned, it's going to fall apart, it's dangerous, would you say, it's only 1,500 architects. There's 100,000 of them. No, you'd go, wait a minute. I'm not moving into that motherfucker.
That's a kind of an unfair comparison because you're talking about a public event. And when you talk about a public event, the entire world saw this one public event. So you're dealing with millions and millions and millions and millions and millions of people. To get 1,500 that think there's something going on.
Architects and engineers.
Look, I'm just saying, 1,500 crazy people is not unlikely. I agree. Obviously, I've always agreed. There's something wrong with that thing. It fell down like a controlled demolition. It's weird. It's weird that doesn't freak people out, and it's weird that you can't sue the fuck out of someone who built a building for you, and it catches on fire and just fucking collapses.
What about the former head of Star Wars is coming out?
Yeah.
Making some serious allegations.
Yeah,
He's
what did he
saying
say?
the former head of Star Wars.
Is he a scientist?
He's a bunch of shit. He's coming out and saying that based on the evidence, based on all the shit he knows about 9/11, based on all that shit, he thinks it looks like it's probably Dick Cheney was running all this shit.
Wow,
that's what he's saying. He said Dick Cheney.
Cheney shot first.
Former head of the Star Wars program says Cheney main 9/11 suspect. Official version of events, a conspiracy theory, says drills were to cover for attacks.
Of course.
The drills were cover for attacks. The former head of Star Wars missile defense program under Presidents Ford and Carter has gone public to say that the official version of the 9/11 is a conspiracy theory, and his main suspect for the architect of the attacks is Vice President Dick Cheney. Whoa!
That's fucking shit you get murdered over.
Wow.
People get murdered for way less. Way less.
It is funny, though, that people don't want to hear that. It is funny that this is something that would anger people.
Read about his background. Is he legit?
Oh, yeah.
Is this a legit guy?
Yeah, he's 100% legit. He was the head of Star Wars. Star Wars is a very interesting program, and I think we've talked about this in the podcast before, but Star Wars scientists have been murdered. Like a great number of them.
Yeah. I mean, here we go. All the guys that
about
deny the 9/11 shit, the head of Star Wars is saying it was all bullshit. The head of fucking Star Wars. God damn, and you're still going to deny it?
Well,
there's so much evidence.
But in all fairness, he's a scientist, and he could be some crazy left-winger, and just because he's a genius scientist doesn't mean he's not. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but people always talk about credibility. If they would say if there was some guy on the street and said I saw bombs, I heard bombs go off, they go, he's just some dude on the street. Now we got former head of Star Wars. He could be crazy. You can't just at some point you got to go, God damn it. At some point, you got to go, of course it's fishy.
Yeah.
Of course there's people banding together.
22 Star Wars researchers all committed suicide. 22.
All committed suicide.
Yeah.
Of course.
That's amazing. Well, there's there were the thing was, the idea was, the conspiracy theory was that the Star Wars program was bullshit and it was never worked, and they never had some real missile defense shield that they could shoot in space and knock fucking missiles out of the sky.
Of course that was bullshit.
They never developed that level of technology. So they had to sort of hide the fact that it was a big giant money grab. They tried to look into it, Congress approved it or whoever the fuck approved it. They look into it and then they just started stealing money. So all these scientists that were involved in this that knew it was horseshit, they just knocked them all off. That's the kind of money that you're dealing with.
Yeah.
You're dealing with the kind of money that can kill 22 researchers. Allegedly.
Yeah.
Allegedly.
Yeah. Sounds about right. Right? Doesn't
Crazy.
Doesn't that sound totally believable?
The witnesses of the Kennedy assassination. There's a new video that what is his nickname on YouTube? Mischief Maker 37 is he's the Tangerine Show rather on Twitter. He made this video, and in the video he talked about it was a clip of us on the podcast talking about the witnesses to the Kennedy assassination and how many witnesses died because of they were murdered, car accidents, electrocution, suicide, got hit by trains. Like a crazy amount of them died in extraordinary
and there's a documentary
ways.
About this.
Yeah, and
send me a link.
And they sent they did their calculation was that the odds of all of these people who had witnessed this one event get murdered or were killed in accidents in such a short period of time was 1 in something trillion to 1.
Yeah, it's that shit over.
It was 1 point something
over
trillion
again,
to 1. Yeah,
over and over again. All that shit. Nah,
but people don't want to.
You guys are paranoid.
Yeah, I'm proud. It's a sexy idea, but Lee Harvey Oswald acted alone.
Yeah,
they've already proven you could shoot that rifle. There's that certain sort of delusional, conservative, sort of patriot type radio guide voice that they do, where you're talking nonsense. They've all filled out the dossier. It's all completed. Sorry, hippies. Yeah. Sorry. Okay, Lee Harvey Oswald acted alone. Thank you.
Yeah, it's scary shit, man.
But there's like a mindset
it's scary shit.
They want to lock into.
Yeah,
but it's like an ideology.
Ultimately, we figure out how much evidence would it take to take like the biggest debunker dude. How much evidence will it take? Will it if like Dick Cheney came out and admitted it? Would they would go, no, Dick Cheney.
He lost his mind with that new heart. That new heart's of liar's hearts.
Yes, exactly. People would believe that shit.
Of course they would. A lot of people would. Well, there's a lot of people that want to believe that the government's their daddy.
Yeah.
The government's going to take care of them.
I think if everyone consciously tried to make all their friends aware of the truth, look into it. People are constantly they're looking
that's
into
happening.
it.
I think that's
like
happening.
Javi Vasquez. I was with him last week. We were in El Paso doing a Gracie Nationals tournament. And he just recently started looking into conspiracy theories, and it's like changed his. He kept going on and how it's changed his life and his way.
Changed
of
his
thinking.
way of thinking.
Yeah, you just actually got to look into it.
Well, people conspire. I mean, if people don't believe that. This is my question that I always say: do you believe in 9/11? Do you believe 9/11 happened? Well, if you do, that's a conspiracy, isn't it? Isn't it a conspiracy? Didn't these guys conspire to make that happen?
Yeah.
Do you believe that the Japanese attacked World War II? They attacked Pearl Harbor. Well, then you believe in conspiracy theories. Because the Japanese conspired to sneak attack with jets and bomb the fuck out of people. That's real. Like, they really planned that out. Do you believe that Hitler burned the Reichstag to get people to think that the Nazis were under attack? Do you believe that Nero burned Rome? Do you believe in any of these crazy? Well, then you believe in conspiracies, man. They're documented throughout history.
Yeah.
People have been conspiring and bullshitting forever, man. They've always done it. They always will. If they can get away with it, they'll pull it off. A bunch of evil fucks work together. They know each other real well. They party together. They kill hookers together. And they get together and go, why are we fucking playing by the rules here? Let's just rob these bitches. Let's rob these bitches. And they all just touch knuckles and they go after it. And they pay money to get lobbyists to change laws to make it easier for them to fucking move money around. And they keep that party rolling.
And they leave so much evidence lying around.
Crazy
It doesn't
amount.
matter.
Doesn't matter. Well, in this day and age, I think it's starting to matter. I think what's going on now with the internet is that young people are coming up with a realization of how the system works, a realization of just human life in general. When I say the system, a realization of countries and taking other countries' resources and the whole. It's the people that are coming up. It's going to be way harder for the children of the people that live today to justify the way the world runs in the future, because all this information will be out there. Whereas when we were kids, when I was growing up in the 1970s, there was no information about any of this. We never had any idea how the fucking world worked. I mean, you had to go to a library if you wanted to get information, and you had to find the right book. And who knows if that book is even right? You could even fact check it. It was difficult to find out what the fuck was going on. But now, pretty much anybody with a phone has instant access to almost any answer to any question they have, or at least reasonable, to a reasonable extent. That's going to change everything, man. I think we're just seeing it right now. We're the beginning of the wave. I think the wave behind us is the wave that can't be ignored. There's going to be a group of people that know everything. They have all the information. It's not like you're a regular person that lived in the 1970s, that went to school for a certain thing and then lived in a certain neighborhood. No, you're going to be influenced by all the humans all over the planet all the time. And that's what's going on right now with Twitter. That's what's going on right now with this fucking podcast. That's what's going on right now with Facebook. That's what's going on right now with anybody that starts their own podcast, and anybody that starts their own message board, and anybody that starts their own thing where they're reaching out and communicating with people, and other people lock into it, and next thing you know, you got your own little online party going on, man. You got your own little online party going on. That's never existed. No one has ever had that sort of an openness in the past before, to the open access to information in the past before. We've never been able to just communicate with people like this. So we're going to get to know each other more in the next 100 years than we have in the last million years. We're going to get to know how we handle the real, raw fucking truth of everything, because in a while, there's going to be no more secrets. You're not going to be able to hide money. You're not going to be able to hide where resources are coming from. You're not going to be able to hide anything. Everybody's going to know exactly what's going on all the time. And that's when we're going to have to either get our shit together as a species or start using these fucking bombs we've been storing up. It's one or the other. When they see guys like Brian, they see this is part of the problem.
What are we talking about?
I don't know. I'm talking about bad guys going after you to protect freedom.
Freedom.
Are you worried about terrorist attacks? You ever think about it?
Anything can happen, bro. They already
sure.
did it. They already.
Of course.
Yeah. I mean, anything could happen.
Did they do it really? Or did it go down as the head of Star Wars says, and there's a fucking Dick Cheney?
Who knows exactly how it went down?
Add that to the checklist.
I thought I shut it off. I swear to God, ladies and gentlemen. We've been doing so many shows at the other studio.
I'm more concerned about bad sushi than I am about terrorism. I had bad sushi and that ruined my fucking week. But I think about that more than I think about like, oh no, this plane's gonna go down, or
I don't think people worry about that it's going to happen to them personally, the odds, but another terrorist attack for sure. It's going to keep happening unless
Brian used to live in such a sheltered world. I'm worried about bad sushi. It's so silly.
I never want to
You're
get
such a
food
silly
poisoning
bitch.
ever again.
That ain't shit.
I'm scared.
People in Iraq eat food poisoning for breakfast. Okay, that's what they have for breakfast every day. Is
Being
food poisoning.
shocked and food
What are you gonna
poisoning.
do, man? You're lucky. You're lucky you live here in America. You got to roll the dice. You're not living in fucking Kabul. You're not living in Pakistan. Where they're
Liberia.
launching missiles from the sky with drones. See, Florida says that they're gonna have the most drones out of any state. As soon
How
as drones
crazy is it that that's a reality?
It's a weird world.
What are these drones going to do again? What are they going to keep track of?
Things, photograph things. They're going to be in the sky in case we ever need them. Like, say if there's some sort of a high speed pursuit, the drones will be able to follow you from the sky. And for sure, drones are going to be above you. If you plan on doing any speeding, you go kiss that shit goodbye. There's no more speeding because there's going to be drones that are going to monitor your speed, and then they're going to alert the police to where you are, and the police are going to cut you off.
I can't wait till people start hacking these drones because
Well,
that
already
shit's
done
gonna
it.
happen.
Well, that's what happened in
hacked it.
Iran.
They did hack it in Texas.
Yeah, they can hack them, man. It's a real problem. It's going to be it's a radio frequency, man. Some super genius dude who's smarter than you, who wouldn't be working for the government, is going to figure out a way to fuck with that shit.
Yeah, those drones be acting a fool just a day after they release those things.
Yeah, I wonder how crackable they are, but I got to assume that anything that's using radio frequency they got to be able to crack that. They're going to figure out what the frequency
One
is.
drone's gonna fall on a child, and that it's gonna be.
Well, it already has in Pakistan. If you're in Pakistan, you're walking with your kid. There's no guarantee that you're not going to get hit with a missile. That's real. They're fucking firing missiles from the sky, and we're not even like really officially over there because we're not over there. Our robots are over there shooting fire from the sky. Like the fucking hell, man! It's amazing where we are.
Yeah, Terminator is happening for them.
Yeah, when you were a kid, you remember watching Terminator? You imagine watching which one was one where the things were flying in the air and they were shooting down? Was that the first Terminator?
Terminator 2.
Was it Terminator Judgment Day? Was that what it was? What's going on right now? Blade Runner.
It's
That was
happening. We're right in it.
There's drones. Fucking drones flying around. What the fuck?
That was pretty fucking quick. They just appeared.
Yeah, they said there are going to be 30,000 of them in the country within 10 years. What? What?
Yeah,
It's 50 states.
We need anonymous on that fucking case,
That's
right?
going to be a mess. Well, they got rid of those traffic cameras. Have you noticed that? Those traffic cameras that take pictures of you going through the yellow light or red light.
still have 'em.
They got rid of them?
Yeah, they got
Why?
rid of them because I think they're unconstitutional. I think there's something about them that's illegal. I think it's because it's a private company that put them up, and the private company somehow or another was profiting off of these people getting photographed going through red lights, and someone questioned it. I'm doing a terrible job of butchering the argument or the story, rather, but I think that's what happened. Damn, Eddie Bravo yawning on me.
No, man.
This is a very disjointed
That was fake.
podcast today. We really didn't get it together for ever more than 10 minutes at a time. Next time we got to stop at like 2 hits. I think 2 hits is good.
You know what? That's what it
There was
was.
2 joints.
We did
Yep.
smoke too much.
Yep,
Two
we
joints,
went
too.
crazy deep.
I apologize.
Yeah. Well, that's why
subpar
I wasn't even
podcast.
upset at Brian for logging into
The
the wrong
beginning
thing.
part.
I knew you were so stoned. You didn't know what the fuck you were doing.
I don't even know what was going on.
You silly bitch. You didn't know what the fuck was going on. Yeah, there's a certain level where you really shouldn't be talking into a microphone in front of thousands of people when you get high. That was that level. Like right now, we're perfect. Right now, we can cook with gas. You know,
Cooking with gas.
this fucking portal thing is so confusing to me. All this space stuff is so confusing to me because I keep wanting to be the skeptic. I keep wanting to be the guy that's like, nothing's gonna happen. Nothing's gonna happen. Nothing's gonna happen. It's just life's gonna be the same. They'll discover a new planet. You can't see it. Who gives a fuck?
Yeah.
Nothing's gonna happen.
Yeah, let's get video of that new
Yeah.
planet and the creatures on it. You know,
Yeah.
let's have Discovery channels about other planets.
Yeah.
I mean, how fucking cool.
Well,
would
we're
that be?
so we're so impatient when it comes to discoveries and things. We want it all to happen like all at once. Like when we look back in time at like what Galileo had figured out or Copernicus had figured out. I mean, it's all stuff that pretty much everybody knows now. But back then, it was this mind blowing revelations about the nature of the universe. Now, if you look at what like we know now, you know, our little baby asses know now, and what they're gonna know if we could just keep it together for 100 years. Just keep it together for 100 years.
Yeah, there's going to be some crazy shit going on.
Think about 1912. How much cock did it suck in 1912? It was terrible. The cars were dog shit. If they even existed, they were dog shit. You're riding around on dirt roads. Everybody stinks.
But they thought it was cool. They had cars for the first time. They're like, holy shit, this is the most amazing part of life here. We're at the edge of technology.
That's what people are going to think back about us in 2,000 years. Like, oh, they didn't have hologram vaginas.
Well, I think it's going to be, we're always like looking for alien life, and we're always saying like we can't search alien life. I don't think we're ready yet, and I think because we're not ready yet, because we're not really quite smart enough to tune in to whatever the fuck their frequency they're on, wherever they are, because of that. That's why there's no evidence, even though it makes sense. I think we're going to come to a point at a certain time where if our technology expands and continues to expand, it's going to get to a point where there's no spot in the universe that we can't traverse. I mean, ultimately, if people live for 1 million years, that's got to happen.
Yeah.
I mean, what we can do today is impossible. What we can do in 1,000 years from now is going to be equally impossible to us today. Everything that's so normal, like Wi-Fi and cellular videos and texting people pictures of your butthole. That.
Who does
Notice
that?
I looked right at Brian when I did that.
Oh, you did that?
Mm-hmm. I mean, think about what 1,000 years from now, what you're going to have things that you can't even wrap your head around today. It most likely will involve the manipulation of space and time. We're gonna probably in 100 years from now have some ability to traverse long distances. That seems possible if we can if we can just get over like a few technological humps. Oh, and again, this is 100 years from now. I really think it's possible.
What do you know about the God particle they just kind of discovered or something?
It's very confusing. They're 99.99% sure that they have recreated this particle based on its mass, and they've discovered some incredible shit, man. I mean, it's the whole idea behind it is really mind blowing. But what's going on is they're tapping into the conditions and recreating the conditions that are like a millisecond after the Big Bang. And they're finding these parts of the universe that they had theorized about. And one of them is this Higgs boson particle, this God particle. It's too hard for me to wrap my puny brain around it, but when I do, it's pretty staggering stuff if you stop and consider where we were in 1912 and where we are today and where we're going to be 2012 with this discovery of the Higgs boson, whatever the fuck, how do you ever say it, and whatever the fuck they're going to figure out within the next 100 years. I mean,
what does that mean to the average person?
I don't know.
That we discovered the God particle.
I don't know. Nothing yet. But it could mean everything. It could.
Is the God particle dark matter?
Oh no,
it's not dark matter.
Here, let's get a scientific.
Let me pee really quick.
Okay, we'll get a scientific explanation of it.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
It's that C2O coconut water, son.
Son?
Yeah. Note that we are in my place today. The reason being is because Brian almost got cooked with electricity. That's also why we don't have our Alienware laptops up.
Oh.
But we are still supporting Alienware. And, Josh Barnett was very happy that we did that because they support fighters. And that's why we chose to do it. It's a big, giant-ass computers. If you're a gamer, they're the shit, man. If you're like a hardcore gamer, they're like the best computers.
I've been doing the
get.
3D games. Portal. I've been playing in 3D. It's
yeah,
sweet.
the laptop is insane. We got these, you motherfuckers. We got an 18.
He got an 18-inch, which is insane. It's pretty much like an IMAX that you can fold up. I got a 17-inch, and it's pretty cool, man. The keyboards are all light up different colors. It's huge resolution, and it's really smooth for playing gaming. I'm pretty much using it just for gaming now.
Yeah, that's the only reason to use it. I mean, they're monster computers. If you're a hardcore gamer, and there's people like, Alienware is like super expensive, and they are.
It's not that bad.
It's not cheap, man.
I guess I'm used to Mac prices.
If you want a built-up computer, it could be expensive, but that's just
But not compared
That's-
to Mac prices.
yeah.
Mac's still pretty expensive. I realized because I went to Alienware's.
But it's high quality shit. I mean, that's why. If you build it together yourself, you could probably build it for cheaper. But I'm not building anything myself, man. I'm a grown
it's not gonna
man.
be cool like
right?
that.
Yeah, it doesn't have that. Well, those laptops are special. Those are fucking cool items to have around. But but the reason why we're not sponsored by Alienware. We're supporting MMA. We're actually sponsored by a company called Punch. What is it? Punch Drunk.
Punch
Sucker
Drunk
Punch?
Love.
Sucker
Sucker
Punch.
Punch, I
Sucker
think.
Punch Entertainment. So that's where it's coming down from. So that they hooked us up with a deal on the Alienware computers. And like I said, we try to support people that support MMA, and we try to support good companies, which is why I always talk about CTO, which is a fucking awesome
Delicious.
coconut juice from Thailand. And I got a new case that they just sent me that has pulp in it. I haven't fucked with it yet. I just got it today.
Do me a favor. I'm going to do this live. Do you have any C2O left in that one right there?
Yes.
I want you to take a sip of that, and I want
Okay.
you to take a sip of this
I'm
one.
not drinking it after you drink.
Please, I'll wipe it off. I'll wipe it
not
off.
Good enough. Not
Come
good
on.
enough.
Hell no.
Just pour it into your mouth.
Stop. Don't want to do it. Not happening.
All right.
You want to be a woman. Too much.
No, this can feels weird to me.
Oh, you got a bad can, you
I
think?
think so.
Oh, well, go get another one. See if it tastes different.
I don't know.
I've never had a bad can from them.
Is that something that happens?
Maybe it's just you. It's just your reaction.
It's warm too.
Do you like this better than that non-pasteurized?
Yeah.
Oh, it's warm. You know what? Because one of them was loose, which had been in my refrigerator for like weeks, and the other one just got in the refrigerator right before the podcast started. You just pull it out of that big package.
I just opened that case that's in there.
See, that case is not cold yet. This
Yeah.
stuff it's way better cold.
Way better cold, right?
Yeah, big difference. It tastes like a completely different thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Apparently, they say that it's from Thailand. The Thailand coconuts are the most delicious and sweet when it comes to their coconut water. But if you can get fresh coconut juice, like if you're near a Whole Foods, you should try. It's super expensive, but god damn, is it good. It's delicious. Fresh coconut juice where it hasn't been pasteurized or homogenized, it's just right out of the coconut, but it doesn't last very long. But man, if you get it, there's a company called Press Juicery that I use. They're great, man.
That's the good shit.
Pressed coconut juice is so delicious. Hey, we're turning to you for conversation.
We're going to
Bravo.
Vegas this weekend. It's gonna be awesome.
This weekend.
Yes.
We never even broke down Silva versus Sonnen.
I talked a little bit about it, but we didn't get
Do
your
you think?
thoughts.
Do you think
I said
that
anything
Anderson
to that.
Silva is going to be a completely different fighter this fight?
I just don't fucking know. He
Yeah.
could be.
Yeah, you wonder. Like, you mean it was much easier to take down than I expected in the first fight, and he does. That is like a guy who's injured. Like, he didn't want to try to stop the takedown.
Who knows? Maybe he's impossible to take down at this point. That could happen.
I don't know about that.
Maybe.
It's the whole thing's interesting. When a guy fights injured, you just don't know. And Anderson's not a guy who's ever said he fought different than he ever fought before, and he's not a type of guy that makes excuses in the past. Like, a lot of people don't know that he had double knee surgery just 5 weeks before he beat Travis Lutter. That's what his manager told me. He told me. I mean, that's a crazy thing what he did. He fought Travis Lutter like right when you're supposed to like not even be back to training again.
Yeah.
5 weeks in. So a guy who's willing to do that and not tell anybody, he did, beat Travis Lutter a lot easier and more convincingly than he beat Chael Sonnen though. So who knows? Who knows how much it really bothered him, but he won. The bottom line is he figured out a way to win. And that's why it gets interesting, because if he's healthy now and he doesn't have any injuries, will he be able to stop the shot now? Will it be an easier fight for him, or will it be the same fucking thing? You can't stop that power double.
Yeah, maybe Sonnen takes him down. Maybe it's hard, maybe it's easy, but he takes him down, and his passing is getting better. What if he passes in arm triangles his ass?
What if he
that
submits
could
him?
happen? He's
Yeah.
been working with Vinny Magalhaes.
Exactly.
So, and Vinny says, he might be trying to blow up Chael, but he says that he thinks that Chael has the ability to finish Anderson, and I believe it. Any wrestler at that caliber has the ability to squeeze a neck. They just got to focus on it just a little bit. You focus on it. If he just focused on arm triangles and rear naked chokes and a guillotine, just keep polishing that shit every day, just keep drilling it, slowly becoming dangerous with just those three. And of course, you got to get really good at passing. Passing the guard is just as important as taking a guy down. You got to get really good at passing. You can't pass the guard. Man, all you have is ground and pound, and dudes nullify that pretty easily now. So you got to... It seems like he's passing. In his past few fights, his passing is looking good. and you know, he got an arm triangle.
Well, he controlled Bisping on the ground too, which is really hard to do. Bisping is very good defensively off his back.
Yeah.
You know, Chael wasn't able to submit him, but he controlled him for quite a while on the ground. But what he did with Brian Stan was really impressive.
Yeah.
He smushed that guy.
Yeah.
And you look at that, that's like some serious pressure. His arm triangle is super legit. Brian Stan was defending the right way too, but it was for didn't matter. He squeezes too hard.
Yeah.
When you get a good one of those things, when a guy really develops a good one, when they really get a feel for it, especially when they were a big wrestler like a Chael Sonnen guy who already has like a sick squeeze and a sick top game and sick balance and just knows how to crush things down, they lock on to one technique like that, man. They become so dangerous. Even when you're defending, you still can get submitted. It just crushes your fucking head. You know, if that guy gets a hold of your head and arm, you're done, son. You're done. It's amazing how dudes like Cody McKenzie, they just lock onto one fucking technique and get so laser sharp at it. They pull it off on everybody, even though dudes know they're trying to pull it off.
They got obsessed with it. They put a lot of numbers in. You know,
Yeah.
that could happen with any technique.
Yeah,
he just
it's
focused on
amazing.
that.
Cody McKenzie's fucking guillotine is ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
I've never seen a guy, what does he have, like 11 wins by guillotine now?
Something like that.
It's incredible. Incredible. Always chokes with the same arm. Always does
Same
it-
thing with Marcelo. He always chokes
Yeah.
with his right arm.
It's amazing.
Same thing.
Yeah, I'm still sad that Marcelo never got back into MMA. He had one fight where he got cut, and he had a hard time using the gloves. Had a hard time strangling a guy with those gloves on. I guess it makes a big goddamn difference.
Yeah, and then the grease too. You got to get used to that. There's a big difference between gi and no gi, and then there's a big difference between rash guard and no rash guard.
Yeah, that's right. He
There's
always
a
had rash
big
guard on.
difference. It's
true.
not the same thing. It's way more slippy.
That's a
slippery.
good point, man.
Yeah.
Do you think that, like, when you see guys in Abu Dhabi and things along those lines, do you think that they should be able to wear pants? Do you think they should
Absolutely.
be able to wear
Well, in Abu
Aoki
Dhabi,
style?
you can't wear pants.
You can wear gi pants?
Vinny, you could wear anything you want. You could wear a gi if you wanted.
Really?
Yeah, you could wear anything in Abu Dhabi.
And can your opponent grab that gi?
You know what? There's some tournaments out there that have ridiculous rules that they just don't. It's just the most ignorant shit out there. It's amazing that it still exists. Like some tournaments, they allow you to wear gi pants in a no gi tournament, but your opponent can grab them and control them, but you can't grab and control shorts. I say, yeah, let him control the pants, but why can't I grab his shorts if he's grabbing my pants just because his pants are shorter? It makes zero sense. If you're going to allow someone to grab pants, you should be able to grab shorts, or don't allow it at all. Don't allow grabbing of anything.
It just seems weird if you have pants on and you have a gi on, you're allowed to grab it. But if you just both are wearing shorts, you're not allowed to grab it.
It's ridiculous.
It gets tricky.
Yeah, it's stupid shit like that.
Do you think they should have to, that everybody should have to fight just skin on skin, just Vale Tudo shorts and that's it?
No, I think you should be able to wear anything you want. I like the way the Japanese ran it. If you want to come in with an Aikido gi, let them come in with an Aikido gi. What happens is the boxing people that made all these rules, they didn't understand what was going on with jiu-jitsu. They thought we're not gonna give anybody an unfair advantage, so we're gonna take away the gi because they saw Hoist choking out Ken Shamrock with this collar or with his sleeve. But really, in Japan, you could wear anything you want, and if the pants were that dangerous, all the Brazilians would be wearing pants. How come no Brazilians are wearing pants except for Hoist? The pants aren't dangerous. What they do is try to even out the playing field because people are wearing fucking their Vaseline. People are Vaseline. The fighters are always greasing themselves up. Strikers, are you kidding? They don't want to go out there and get strangled. They're all putting on grease the night before. It's
You really think they're
shit.
all greasing?
Not all. A lot, though. Not all, but a lot.
How are they doing it? What do you think the most common way they do it?
People like this is what I've heard is they'll take like cocoa butter and like sleep with it and then wash it off the next morning so your skin appears to be dry, and then when you start sweating it comes out of your pores. That's, if you're fighting a leg lock wizard, you're gonna shave your fucking legs and grease up, and not only that, another thing that came from boxing that's what's up with all the Vaseline all over people's faces? You don't think that gets all over their bodies? A lot of times people get accused of greasing.
Well, Anderson is in fights wiped it off his face and onto his chest.
Well, whether you do that or not, when you're fighting and you're grappling, dude's touching your face, touching your chin, then he's touching your arm. These guys are have Vaseline all over their body by the end of the fight.
Yes.
So like That's an unfair advantage to a striker. You know, it's harder to get submissions. We should be pushing to get more submissions. You know, in professional football, they push for more offense. They change rules and adjust shit for more offense. Same thing in basketball.
Right. So what you're saying is that if they wore just allowed to wear rash guards, that would basically even up all the problems that we have with grease.
If you want to, you don't have to. If you want to, some people don't want to wear shit because remember, in Japan, you could wear anything you want, and what the jiu-jitsu guys chose to wear is little tiny shorts. They didn't want to wear pants.
Hoist eventually went to pants.
Yes. Yes.
No pants top, but pants on the
bottom. But then he ended up fighting MMA with shorts.
No pants
shorts.
top.
When he fought Matt Hughes, that was once. That was against.
Well, they didn't allow him to wear anything else.
Yeah, totally.
When he fought Matt Hughes.
The fact that pants are like karate pants or gi pants are not allowed, or like tights, like the way Aoki wears tights. It's counterproductive for the sport. You know, I just let them.
It would be a good way to counteract the idea that, you know, everybody's greasy.
Yeah, it's just
they are greasy.
People are greasy, and if they're not, they got Vaseline all over their face. It's going to get all over their body, and it makes it harder. All that Vaseline all over your face makes it harder to pull off submissions late in the fight. You mix that Vaseline with sweat and blood. We should be like, it would be like banning tights. Would be like banning wide receivers wearing gloves in like rainy days or snowy days. They let them wear gloves so they could catch the ball. More offense. More drop balls means shitty play. People get bored. They want more high scoring.
Right, but that's not a person. A ball's not a person. The problem is, the idea is that someone should be able to have the best defense possible with two men with bare skin.
Yeah.
And if all of a sudden one guy's wearing some sticky clothes, it allows you to get a hold of you.
But it's okay. In the amateurs in California, they let them wear rash guards. It's no problem.
Yeah.
Yeah. In the amateurs, you wear rash guards. It's no problem.
I predict it would change the game.
Female MMA fighters wear rash guards. How is that okay?
That's unfortunate.
You know, totally. But like, how is that? I mean, how is that okay? They have an unfair advantage. You should be allowed. You should be allowed to wear rash guards. I mean, it works in female MMA. We should allow it in the pros too. What's the big deal? It's just a rash guard. It'd be nice. People would come in with like tights and they look like little superhero characters. It'd be cool. Like Aoki was just as famous for the different crazy pants he wore as he was for his fighting style.
I'm down for tights. The only problem that I would have with the gi is that you can use the gi as a weapon. You could Ezekiel choke the fuck out of somebody, and that doesn't feel right.
Yes, but again, in Pride they allowed that, but no. But there's way more cons to pros to wearing gis. As far as the gi experts said, you know what? Yeah, I could choke you out with my sleeve, but dude can choke me out with my own collar, so it's not even worth it. Do you know what I mean?
You remember when Yoshida fought Hoist?
Yeah.
Yoshida fought Hoist, and he said he was out, and he wasn't out. He lied until he made up the fact that he was out. He's like, he's not even barely choking him. Hoist's like foot was up and shit. Like there was no way he could have been out. Like he was like holding his foot up. Yeah. And like he's out, and then like referee stops, and Hoist's like, "What the fuck are you doing? I ain't out."
Yeah,
they totally bamboozled him.
Yeah, there's a lot of tomfoolery going on in Japan,
and that was with a gi. You know, he was wrapping him up in a gi supposedly.
But again, it's if it was an advantage to wear a gi, all the Brazilians coming over and fighting in Pride, they'd all be wearing gis and gi pants. You know what I mean? It's not an advantage.
It's amazing that Hoist chose to fight like that, though.
Yeah, he was.
But then when you watch like Hickson's fights with Zulu,
he never wore a gi. He wore little tight shorts.
Yeah. Interesting.
In the long run, the gi is a disadvantage. That's what the Brazilians are saying by not wearing it. They're making that statement.
Yeah, that's kind of crazy when you stop and think about it. There's this ancient outfit that people wear. You know, they've been wearing for how long? 1,000 years? Who knows? Yeah. How many years have martial artists been wearing a gi? You know, or in Taekwondo they call it a dobok. You know, and I don't know, what is it called? Kimono? Is that what the Portuguese like to call it? The Brazilians?
I think that's a Japanese word.
Yes, but they use the word kimono as well, right? Yeah, Japanese definitely call it kimono, but that's what the Brazilian jiu-jitsu guys refer to it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, we didn't accept kimono. We took gi. Isn't that weird? When it got over here, it became a gi. It went from being kimono to the Brazilian. Japanese kimono, Brazilian kimono, gi.
And the Brazilians didn't call it gi?
I don't know. I think Americans don't. Americans very rarely call it kimonos. And when they do, you know they're a serious jiu-jitsu dork. You know, if somebody asks you, what brand kimono do you wear? Oh, you serious jiu-jitsu dork. You know, some dudes just get so caught up in jiu-jitsu, man. It's just like, it's so much fun. When you first start tapping guys, it becomes so much fun that some guys just completely lose their shit and just dive into it.
Yeah, I was a jiu-jitsu fucking freak.
Yeah.
I was thinking about getting one of those Americans are so into it. I loved Brazil. Went to Brazil in 2000, again in 2003. I fucking loved anything Brazilian. Anytime a Brazilian was fighting in MMA, he could be fighting a Mexican. I don't give a shit. I'm going for the Brazilian. I was so hardcore. I would have got a tattoo of a Brazilian flag on my back with that Odemi Progresso thing on it. I would consider that shit.
That is a dope.
I was hardcore.
A dope logo.
The
What does that
Brazilian.
mean? What does that mean? Odeme e Progresso.
Like maybe my guess is oath, promise to progress. I don't know, something like that.
Fun country, man.
Yeah.
Brazil,
Dude,
fun
they're the
country.
only country that shuts down for a month to party.
Yeah, it's beautiful, man. There, people down there are really fun, man.
Come on.
I really enjoy doing the UFCs down there. The audiences are like nothing you've ever seen in your life. In between fights, they were doing the wave and screaming and cheering. I mean, like the level of passion that the Brazilian fans have. It's not. No one's close. No one is close.
No,
not Americans.
And
not-
we've been everywhere.
Yeah.
We've been fucking
Yeah,
everywhere.
we've been
no
everywhere.
one's close.
No one's close.
Brazilians smash everybody with loyalty.
Yep. Energy.
Celebration. You know,
Singing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even in jiu-jitsu tournaments. I went to Brazil in 2000 for the Worlds, and it wasn't at like a giant place. It was kind of like at an old beat up kind of arena, like a mini beat up arena. It was like it wasn't that great. And those motherfuckers had drums and shit. They had all these chants. It was like a high school gym, and they were going nuts. They would have crushed cheerleaders. They would have fucked them up.
Do you remember when we were in Abu Dhabi and they started singing in the middle, like Jacare was fighting, and they started like
They got songs,
singing,
man.
Yeah,
Yeah.
They're singing and pounding on the tables or the chairs like drums. I mean, it's amazing, man. They got into it to the point where it was like you were privileged to be there. Like you didn't know that there was a place like this. You didn't know that this was something that was going on out there in the world. You watch these badass jiu-jitsu guys fight, and then these Brazilian guys are singing and dancing in the fucking crowd. It's crazy.
And do you think it's a coincidence that Brazil may be the only country or the only country part of the UN? I don't know exactly, but Brazil is super rare in that they go against UN drug policies and make ayahuasca legal. It's legal there. You think that has... I mean, I hear that in Brazil, and I could be wrong, but I saw this in the documentary. It could be bullshit, but that a lot of people give... There's like there's an ayahuasca Christian religion that's kind of like a mesh of both, and they give ayahuasca to babies. They give ayahuasca when you're 14 to prevent alcoholism. Somehow, if you have ayahuasca in your system before alcohol, or maybe even after, in some way, it does something to your brain, or somehow, spiritually, I don't know, but it keeps you from being an alcoholic, a waste case. And Brazil's like, fuck it, ayahuasca is legal, bitch. And who parties harder than Brazil? Who celebrates more than Brazil? Those guys are fucking insane.
I'm sure it has to have some impact, but marijuana is illegal there. It's really, really illegal. It's not good at all. Got to be, real careful.
But
when
it
you have that.
is illegal. But a lot of Brazilian jiu-jitsu players they smoke weed.
Yeah, a
It's
lot of
very
them
popular
do.
in jiu-jitsu.
But it's like you got to have to deal with some, people that are selling illegal drugs.
And the weed is shit down there too.
it's
I
not
think
good.
South America just altogether has shit weed.
It's unfortunate. It's ridiculous, and it's hopefully one day. I mean, can you imagine if Brazil had medical marijuana? Oh my God!
Yeah.
If Brazil had legalized weed on top of the way they rock it right now, on top of the greatest crowds of all time, on top of the most insane beaches, you look out and see islands and shit. Dudes are selling coconuts. If they had weed for free too, I mean, legal weed,
Yeah.
it'd be the most ridiculous country of all time. It's weird how cultures just grow up, and a lot of it is depending on how bad where you live sucks. You couldn't have a lifestyle like Brazil if you lived in Iceland. Like, bitch, you got to go out and kill a whale. Okay, it's fucking. We're gonna freeze to death. Okay, we need some food. We need to batten down the hatches. We need to. Not in Brazil. You don't have to batten down the hatches. It's awesome out.
Yeah.
Even in the winter, it's awesome. So what do? They fucking party. They
It's
have a good
totally
time.
cool. It's totally Brazilian and totally cool not to be like on a strict schedule.
Yeah.
They love just say, hey,
Relax.
when you're in
Yeah.
Brazil. Higan Machado told me this when I went to Brazil the first time. We kept telling him, like, we got to do this, we're going to do that. He goes, relax. In Brazil, there is no time. There's no time in Brazil. I'm like, whoa, these guys do whatever the fuck they want to do whenever they want to do it. It's all about having fun.
There was a dude that I met down there that was, I think he's a Machado black belt. I forget his name. I apologize. But he was telling me that he moved back there in the late 90s. He moved in Brazil and just started living there. And he just loved it. And he said the one thing that you got to get used to, though, is like when you need something fixed, like, good luck. Like, you need a dude to show up at your house at a certain time. Well, he might show up, but, shit happens, man.
I remember in the early 90s when jiu-jitsu blew up because of Hoist Gracie, because of the UFC, a lot of Brazilians started fucking making the move and opening up shop and taking territories. Renzo went to New York. Half went to San Francisco. The Machados went to Southern California. Horion, Southern California. Everyone was just like, it was like the gold rush for Brazilian jiu-jitsu.
Yeah, everybody came here, right? I mean, you think about how many high-level jiu-jitsu schools are in California.
Hell yeah, they're all coming to California.
It's nuts.
They're all coming. And Miami,
Yeah, they want that nice weather.
They want the nice weather. They want the surfing.
But they still go to Toronto. Brazilians are lokesters, man. They'll fucking relocate to Toronto.
Yeah, there's some spots that is wide open, but you really want to open shop in Wisconsin or something.
Maine, you want to go to Maine?
They hang for a while because like even Salo and Shandy, they went to Ohio for a while. They went, but there's only so much a Brazilian could do in Hawaii or in Ohio.
Right.
So they said fuck it. They came to San Diego.
Well,
right?
What's his name? Nopal, Gabriel Gonzaga.
Yeah.
He's in Western Massachusetts, man. It's cold as fuck out there.
Yeah,
Western
some Brazilians
Massachusetts is
like
a big difference.
because Marcelo went to New York and then
Yeah.
he went to Florida and they said fuck it. He didn't like the weather in Florida. He went back. He loves New York, man.
Well, New York is, if you're a thinking person and Marcelo's a thinking person, New York is much more stimulating, stimulating people. Florida is nice and everything like that, but goddamn, the mean intelligence level in Florida.
Henzo owns
mess.
fucking New York, though. Henzo fucking owns New York, dude. He is the godfather. He's like John Gotti of jiu-jitsu there, man. He owns that shit. Fuck yeah. Dude, he's got a ridiculous number of students.
Yeah,
and he's
huge,
making
right?
some serious bank, man. That guy. And he's one of the nicest guys on the planet. You know what I mean?
he's a
He's
great guy.
fucking he's on Twitter all the time, just spreading positivity. You know
Is
what I mean?
Marcelo on Twitter?
Yeah, he's on Twitter. Not as much as Henzo. Henzo's on Twitter. Fucking, I'm like, isn't it like 5 in the morning in New York right now? And he's still like just twittering, all just positive shit. Henzo's just positive. He's a bad motherfucker.
Where are they? How far away are they from each other? Henzo School and Marcelo School.
They're really close. They're both in Manhattan, really close. But Marcelo also has a very successful school too.
Yeah.
But Henzo, I think, Henzo
He's been around forever. Henzo.
Yeah.
Marcelo is much more recent, but Marcelo has that Josh Waitskin dude, that chess wizard.
Yeah.
That was.
Yep. I met him
yeah.
last time I was in New York. Really
Did you?
cool guy. Yeah.
I exchanged some emails with him.
All
Brilliant
Marcelo's
guy.
guys are fucking so cool.
He's
man.
the guy that they based the movie Searching for Bobby Fischer.
Yep.
And he was a chess genius, spent all his life doing that, and then he got into martial arts. Initially got into Kung Fu, and then I think he was doing push hands, like those push hands competitions, and then he got into jiu-jitsu and fell in love with it and started breaking moves down sort of the same way in a disciplined approach, the way he learned to play chess. Because they learned to like think of moves and chains and progressions, and so he broke it down as a discipline, and made that MG in Action website, and he's got all the different techniques labeled out. And you have that same shit going on too at 10thplanetjujitsu.com, right? You can go there and you have it set up where you have all the different moves and techniques, and someone doesn't even have to like train here. They can learn your shit online and then bring it to a local jiu-jitsu gym and practice it.
I release episodes of the show called Mastering the System. I release one every few weeks and has every technique that I teach at my school. I put it up online for $4.99. So
Yeah, it's an amazing resource for someone who lives somewhere. Like, say, if you're stuck somewhere and they don't have any high level jiu-jitsu, you can get together with your friends and you could start a club. You could get a certain amount of people, and maybe they have mats at the YMCA. When I was a kid, the YMCA had mats. Like, you could set some mats up and you could start a club.
There's so many guys out there, so many Ronins. They're getting 2 or 3 of their friends, putting mats in their garage and studying Marcelo. You can study, the Mendez brothers, study Edgar Guevara. cloud. You can get mastering the system, put it all together,
Yeah.
and have some fucking
Yeah,
fun.
and then
man.
they'll take trips sometimes. Like a lot of these guys will come in and they'll train in Manhattan for a week.
Yep,
Like that's what
yep.
George St. Pierre did when he was young. Went to Henzo's and trained there, or they'll go to Jean Jacques, or they'll go to your gym. We're in Burbank now, folks. If you were looking for the Legends, went under due to unforeseeable circumstances. So if you want to learn some 10th Planet Jiu-Jitsu, you have to go to our 10th Planet Burbank location, which is on Burbank Boulevard. What is the exact address?
4130 West Burbank Boulevard.
And it's a Blue Dragon Martial Arts Academy. If you see the Blue Dragon Martial Arts Academy,
There's a
there'll
big
also
10th
be a
Planet
big
there.
the big 10th Planet logo right there. But if you're driving on the street, there's a white sign that like sticks out. So if you find that, that's where you can learn from Hedge Bravo. Learn to get the choking. We're gonna have a good time this weekend, man. It's gonna be fun.
Fuck yeah,
Some crazy
dude.
ass fights. It's
Fuck
gonna be
yeah.
wild.
Fuck yeah, man.
Party time. All right, you dirty bitches. This has been a long and disjointed podcast, and we apologize for it. And Brian, you really got to get your shit together because you can't do any of the things that you
Can I make
said
a
or-
request? Can I make a request, Joe?
Yeah, sure.
I just dropped a new song and I want to play it for you.
Right now?
Is it too late?
Yeah,
think
we
we
have
have-
we have like 4 minutes till it ends.
Yeah, we only have 3 hours on a recording.
Oh, okay.
You could play it afterwards. We'll stop and come back. And play
Okay.
it afterwards. Okay, we'll do that. So we'll stop and come back, and it will be a supplemental to the podcast, ladies and gentlemen, the Eddie Bravo song. All right, you freaks. Next week, we got a lot of shit going on. We got Tommy Chong coming up. We got Kevin Pereira, Adam Kokesh from Adam and versus the Man, and Honey Honey. And we don't know if we might have to move some people around. That's a lot. We might have to do Honey Honey a little earlier in the day. And then next week we got Aubrey, who's returning from Peru and another psychedelic adventure. Then we got Bobo from Finding Bigfoot. I am very excited about that one.
When's that Cat Beyond?
Oh, she's emailing me. We're going back and forth. We're gonna figure it out. Your girl Kat Von D responded
Kat
to
Von
me
D.
on Twitter
Oh,
today,
cool.
and I gushed like a little child.
Oh, this
My-
weekend, if you're going to see the UFC, I'm going to be also doing a show, Doug Loves Movie taping at Palace Station on Sunday.
And Doug Loves Movies, for those who don't know, is the podcast of the I Heard Grumpy, Doug Benson.
Doug Benson.
Also,
Got a little grumpy.
I got an after party Saturday night at the Cat House at the Luxor. It's a 10th Planet after party after the UFC. Cat House, Luxor. Everybody's invited.
What is the Cat House?
It's a small lounge. I wanted a place where we could get everybody in. If we would have did Hayes or something like XS, like those clubs, you only get 10 guys in. It gets crazy. I put together a party where I made sure that all my 10th Planet people, because there's going to be a bunch of them there this weekend, they could all get into one spot without any trouble. And they got a bar there, they got music. It's just for 10th Planet family. Anybody that's down. You don't have to be. You don't have to go to a 10th Planet school, but it's after the UFC Saturday, Cat House at the Luxor. Look for me.
Boom. Bitches. That's about it. Oh, if you're a Fear Factor fan, the Fear Factor episode where we, I shouldn't tell you what actually happens, but there's 1 2-hour episode that we filmed besides the Donkey Seaman one that wound up tanking the show. There's one other episode that we filmed that's going to air over the next 2 Mondays. So I don't think they're advertising it. They're just sticking it in a hole. And it's called Burning It Off. So if you're interested and you want to check it out, you'll probably never see it again.
Cool. Did you forget about that episode?
No, I remembered. I'm so happy that this thing turned out the way it did. It's very rare when their show gets canceled and they're really happy it got canceled. Yeah. I fucked up, man. I would have been locked. Shut the fuck up, I'm trying to make a goddamn confession. Listen, folks, this fucking podcast is over. We'll be back. We'll be back next week with tons of fun.
And we'll be in San Diego for Comic-Con.
Yes, we'll be in San Diego next Friday.
Go to DeathSquad.tv.
The 13th. Dun, dun, dun.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and it's at where? What is the name of the
It's on the American Comedy Co. You can go to AmericanComedyCo.com or DeathSquad.tv and click on the banner at the top.
All right, you freaks. We will see you soon. Thank you. God damn it.
Fleshlight.
I'm on a podcast. I'll call you back. Thanks to the Fleshlight for sponsoring our podcast. Go to joerogan.net. Click on the link for the Fleshlight. Enter in the code name Rogan and save yourself 15% off the #1 sex toy for men. Thanks also to onit.com. That's ONNIT. Go check the Alpha Brain, son. Go get yourself some. New formula has some awesome new ingredients that are even better. Go check it out. All the information is available on onnit.com, and the kettlebells are in. The most reasonably priced kettlebells you're going to find online, including the most reasonably priced battle ropes. The battle ropes are the highest quality available, as are the kettlebells. Those fucking kettlebells will be there when the earth is not. They are solid fucking iron, and they will find them. Scientists will find them in your fucking house. I'm doing a podcast. Jesus Christ, I can't tell these people enough, and yet they still call back. I gotta go, ladies and gentlemen. There's a lot of shit going down over here. Thanks to onnit.com. Use the code name Rogan and save yourself 10% off all our awesome brain supplements. And we will see you guys soon next week. Are we doing an Ice House show next Wednesday?
Next Wednesday, Ice House.
Powerful Ice House. So that's it for now, and we'll see you guys soon.
Man, it's fucking